Bob. Hey, Bob.
All right. What you do is...
Yeah, I think I got it now. Yeah, I think I got it. I had to restart.
Where you turn it horizontal.
Yep. I found the advanced settings, and I just got to get it all set back up where I wanted it. So.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Get you going.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye. All right, here. I had to end that live, so you're gonna have to go in and start yourself on the next live.
What do you mean?
Just go to the live chat, and I'm gonna get the camera set back up again. Guys, hold on a second. I think we got it figured out. Technical difficulties. But what I want to do is put this in here. If it'll let me. So I had it before. Oh, and it's still way too close. Way too close. So we need it to be like way back here. Be patient with us, guys. We're idiots trying to pretend we know what we're doing. Wow, that is still way too close.
Just move some of the decorations back.
All right. Maybe that will work. And let me see, where's my plug-in? All right, you can see her. You'll be able to see me once I sit down. I hope. All right, guys, does that work? Whew. I'm all worn out now.
How's a workout?
Yeah.
Am I on there?
Okay. No, this is the one that ended, I think, already. Yeah, because see. Started 18 minutes ago, so no, this is not this one.
Okay.
So there should be another one, this one right here.
That's the one that I just pulled up.
Started 18 minutes ago.
So is that not running live?
It should be. $39 watching.
There we are.
Yep, there we go. Okay, guys, are you with us now? Okay, we're back, right? So now if you go here now, you can actually do this. Actually,
I can do the...
yeah, actually the way I got, if things would just work right. Yeah, I can't, because I turned that around, I think it'd be better quality on the camera, but
I'll answer.
it is what it is, so, okay. Let's do this. Rudolph, anybody? Hi guys, so let's try this again. Oh, you're not on. I don't know that it's actually live, like there's quite a bit of a delay there. No, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. It's really hot now.
You're quite hot.
All right, guys, we'll try this again. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope everybody's happy and well.
All right. Anybody have anything particular they want to talk about? We didn't really have a specific purpose in this other than Merry Christmas. What's everybody doing for Christmas? You guys staying at home? You going to visit family? I know we've got family coming over tomorrow. Well, Mama S is coming over.
Sunday.
That's right, tomorrow's Saturday. I don't know why I was thinking today was Saturday. Yeah, Sunday, Mama S is coming over for Christmas Eve. and she'll spend the night, and then we'll do Christmas at Mickey's house next door on Christmas Day. And Mike and Alicia are actually coming over on Christmas evening as well for Christmas dinner.
She's making stuffed mushrooms. Yummy! You're gonna go right into my tree, and they're all gonna giggle.
I hope not. Sorry, it was just leaned too far forward. It was all goofy.
You're putting every one of those ornaments back on that tree, sir.
Okay, I will.
Flip needs a rear tire mounted.
Do you have the tire already?
Oopsie. How did I do that? I gotta go back. Okay. What'd you ask me?
Does he have the tire ready? Why are you answering comments there? I have to do a speaker answer. That'll avoid all this dead silence too.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you have your tire already? No. That's not what I'm talking about. Just, if someone asks a question, answer it vocally.
Oh.
Don't go to comments and answer it. You're live.
I just asked you.
My name's Katie.
This is not my forte. Sorry.
So Chip, do you have a tire already?
Chip. Flip.
Flip. That's what I meant to say.
You're thinking of Chip.
Sorry, you got me all flustered now.
Our Chip.
Yeah.
Grizzly Bear says, Xmas is just another wasted day for me.
Why is that, Grizzly? Hey, my feet are all up in the thing.
Flip said Katie is special. That's right, darn it. Don't you forget it. No, I haven't been drinking. Maybe I need to start.
I got your water. That's all I brought.
Oh, okay. Wet my whistle?
Yeah.
Bubba Bosman is staying home. New York Harley Rider says, hello, hoping to get to meet you guys next year. Yes, come and see us. We love to see people.
Are you coming out to any of the rallies?
Grizzly Bear, no fam, no money.
I didn't do it.
No fam, no money, no F's given. Well, Merry Christmas anyway, Grizzly Bear.
All right, Trucker Brad just sent me a message. Says a trucker friend of mine uses the StreamYard app to do his live streams, and it does pretty good, even when he's driving. As long as the signal is steady, it's very compatible with YouTube. Too. Yeah, I know a lot of people use StreamYard. I've just never used it yet. In fact, I had asked Bob and Tam at one point to kind of show me how to do that because I wanted to be able to do live collaborations, you know, with like Bob and Tam, like how they've had me on their channel before. I wanted to have them on my channel. Same thing with, you know, Baggers and Brews and stuff like that. So I just don't know how to do it.
Flip says yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Flip, you don't have to answer both places.
Well, I didn't get to him quick enough, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have the tires, just call me and we'll figure out a day to put them on. I mean, we could probably do it tomorrow if you really wanted to. I'll just be doing stuff here around the house. Just give me a call and bring them over.
Poppy's Adventure says, does Amsoil make diesel oil for Gen 3 Eco Diesel 2022?
Say that again?
Does Amsoil make diesel oil for a Generation 3 Eco Diesel 2022?
Most likely they do. I would need to know what weight it needs and what the specification is, but Amsoil has their premium diesel oil in multiple viscosity grades, so one of them will most likely be the right fit for that. But I don't know because I just don't know that off the top of my head.
We'd need a little bit more information so we could tell you exactly everything Amsoil has just for that application. Off topic, Mike Tats? He has a question about Goliath.
What's your question?
And Sigurd, I am jealous. He's on a ship up in the Arctic Ocean off the Norwegian coast. Is it a cruise ship?
That sounds awesome. Why are you jealous? I'm jealous of you. Chip says you know where the starter relay is, and it's a 5-pin. On that custom bike, I don't know where they put it. We'd have to look for it. Oh, that was Thursday, December 14th. Sorry, Chip, Flip. Somehow I went back on your messages. Never mind. All right, what was the question about Goliath?
I'm waiting. Goliath registered as other than a commercial vehicle?
Yes, it's registered as an RV.
Grizzly Bear says, "Hey Katie, that is one big ass squirrel trying to destroy your beautiful tree, but I know you love him anyway." He's picking up every ornament when we get off this
I think I've only
live.
knocked one off, so.
And I'm counting them, making sure that they go back on the tree.
So did any of you guys catch the Baggers and Brews live last night? It was a pretty good time. They were on for like, I don't know, 2.5 hours or almost 3 hours or something.
Hold that thought. Sigurd he goes, "No, it's a naval patrol ship in the Norwegian."
Well, thank you for your service anyways.
Yes. Definitely, thank you.
I bet it's colder than hell up there right now.
Good morning, Tom Bryan. Because it's this normal thing that you say.
Yeah. I got it.
As long as you get it.
All right, so who's got a good, funny Christmas story to tell or something? I don't know. Trying to fill this dead silence. This is awkward. Gotta get some questions in here. Things for us to answer.
Yeah, because we haven't done a live in a while, so we figured we would.
When was our last live? Oh, at Ocean City, wasn't it?
Yes.
We walked around live.
Mhm.
That was back in September.
I kept bumping into George and Melissa.
Yeah.
Well, we can tell you about what's been going on with us. Oh, it's 2 a.m. there, Tom Bryan said.
Night-o.
The weather has been cold. We haven't gotten a lot of rain because, we're closer to Tennessee. It has been down as low as 6 this week for the lows. And during the daytime, I think the low was, the high was what? 45 one day, 39 another day.
Today was in the 50s. Most days have been in the 50s, but like low 50s. A couple of days were down in the 40s. So it's been pretty nice. There was one day that it was in like the high 40s and it was really cloudy, so it felt a lot colder. But like today, I had the windows down of the truck driving around.
It was sunny and beautiful.
And I had a long sleeve shirt on, but not a jacket. And it was really nice. But then once the sun starts going down, it gets really cold really fast.
It does. It gets very
So
cold.
I'm trying not to do a whole lot of outside stuff after dark.
Grizzly Bear wants to know the missing Mini.
It's not missing. I know exactly where it is.
There's a 93 Olds with a Krylon camo paint job for sale here if you're interested.
No, thank you. Yeah, in fact, I just took the tag off of the Mini yesterday and turned it in and canceled the insurance on it because it's been sitting there since May and we haven't driven it.
Flip, it is not that cold. Quit your whining. It's been sunny.
Florida boy.
We're Florida people.
I know, but we hated it.
Hated the Florida. It's just too cold. Cold as a witch's tit. Anyway, going to be warm here in Chicago next few days and rain from T-Dog. Tom Bryan said it's 6 degrees Celsius and 60 mile an hour winds here. No, thank you.
Yeah, definitely not.
Good Lord. 60 mile an hour winds. Good grief. That's cold.
Brad sent me a picture of the, I don't know if it, let's see if everybody can see that.
Don't bump the table.
Yeah, definitely don't want to put that in our thing. Move this a little bit.
Oh, because you don't want to pick up the ornaments?
Still want to make you mad. I gotta sleep next to you.
Yeah, you do. Just remember that.
Yeah, I can do without. How much do they want for it? $19.95. No, thank you.
The bearded guy Jeff says, warm here in Kentucky tomorrow, gonna be in the 60s. Gonna get out and ride a while. Thank you for the Christmas card, Jeff.
Oh yeah, thank you, Jeff. I meant to send you a message yesterday and I forgot. I went to the P.O. box and finally picked it up.
Tom Bryan says, Lancaster, England. It's always crap weather here.
Yeah, I bet.
That's why my grandmother moved here back in the early 1900s, because she didn't want to be over there anymore either.
We actually got pretty lucky. As you guys saw in the cruise video, our weather while we were on the cruise was perfect. And the whole time we were in the Caribbean, it was raining and pouring here, which we really needed, because remember, we were in a drought before that. It was like had burn bans and everything. But while we were gone, it rained so much that everything got saturated, so all the bans have been lifted now. But since we've been home, it hasn't rained at all. We've been home, what, 2 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll make 2 weeks. Well, late tomorrow night, early
Yeah,
Sunday
tomorrow.
morning.
Yeah, that's right. Because of
But yeah, so it's been pretty nice, and I almost hate that I've been doing so much office work trying to, close out the business for the year and get all the bills paid for and all the contracts finished up and stuff like that for like Department of Revenues and everything, that I haven't really been able to accomplish a lot outside, and the weather's been perfect. And now that I'm almost caught up on all that, my goal next week was to get over there working on the other shop and get some stuff done around here, and now it's looking like rain almost all next week. So that's gonna suck.
let's see. Okay, Grizzly Bear said, "How's the Red 550 doing?" And hi, Rob. Miss you. Super fam. What does that say?
I know I can't read that far away. We're super.
He types as fast as he speaks.
Great to see 6L doing so good. Be safe. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, the 550 is doing really, really well. I haven't driven it in months, but last time I talked to Joe, which was before we went on the cruise, I asked him how it was doing, and he said it was fine. But with us being gone for so long, remember, that was before we went to Sturgis. Actually, before we went to Deadwood that I got that fixed. So I was gone for, 3 months after I fixed it. And when I came back, I asked somebody, he said it was running like a top, everything was perfect. He doesn't drive it daily. Joe actually lives down in Atlanta, and he only comes up on the weekends to work around the property up here. So that truck only gets driven once in a while. He'll start it up and move it out to the parking lot and do stuff in the shop over there where Goliath is parked, and then he'll just move it back in. But if he needs to move something from property to property, it's got the gooseneck hitch and the heavy duty tug-along hitch as well and all that stuff. So he will start putting it to use pretty soon, I think.
Tom Bryan says, you still got the Royal Enfield, Adam. I just bought a 500 Bullet and a 650 Interceptor to add to the collection. James Frost also says, hello, Merry Christmas.
Hello,
Merry
Jimmy.
Christmas, Jimmy.
Yeah, the Interceptor is really cool, and the Royal
Mini
Enfields
Goliath is good too.
are really cool. Now, my bike isn't actually Royal Enfield, and I know that I've said that before, and it's a mistake that I make a lot. It's actually a Famous James, not a Royal Enfield. For years, I thought it was a Royal Enfield James model. That's kind of what I was told when I was younger. But I did my own research about, 5, 6, 7 years ago or something like that, and I realized that it's not a Royal Enfield at all. It's called a Famous James, still a British motorcycle, still really wasn't intended to be sold in the US, but I guess from what I found out, they had a really hard time selling them over in the UK. So after a couple of years, they imported a whole bunch of them over here to sell them, and everyone thought they were cool here because they were just so different than the typical American motorcycle. And but yes, I still have it. It's out in our storage building. I don't do much with it. It just sits. It's more of a collector's kind of thing. It's not safe to ride, but I don't want to make it safe to ride because I'd have to take off some really cool original parts to do so.
Let's see. James and Francis Barnett made in the same factory.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Eric D said, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, Eric. So that James is a 1950, and it still has the original tires on it. And there's no way I'm going to ride around on tires that are 73 years old. So I think
Really, that old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, bike's older than my mom.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. So and it's all original except for the hand grips. My stepfather put the grips that are on it back in 1976, 77, somewhere in that area when he first pulled it out of my grandfather's barn. And that's really the only modifications ever been made to it is the aftermarket grips have been put on it.
And his great aunt used to ride it to church on Sundays.
Yeah, it was my great aunt's. It was always been in the family. It's never been out of the family.
Grizzly Bear, just for talking points, what are your plans for the Yeller 2600? And Tom Bryan says, needs any parts, mate, let me know.
Yes, why don't you email me so I've got your contact information? I don't plan on doing any work on it anytime soon, but it would be nice to have that resource when the time does come. As far as the T600 goes, guys, I've pretty much put that on hold right now. Right now, it doesn't make any sense to try to put a truck on the road. Financially, it doesn't make sense, and it will cost so much money to get that truck on the road without being able to hire a driver to put in it. And right now, the freight market is absolutely the toilet. I know a lot of you were truck drivers, so you know what I'm talking about. And I don't have the connections to get good freight, nor have a good driver to drive it. I can't drive it because I'd have to let Goliath go or not run this business, and there's no way I can not do what we're doing to do that. It financially would be going backwards. So right now it's going to sit. I mean, it's paid for. I thought about selling it, but I know that someday I might want to use it, and I may not be able to replace it for what I could sell it for right now. So it's just going to hang out there. I'll go start it up every once in a while and let it run. And when I've got a little bit extra cash where I can afford to throw about 20 grand into that truck, then I probably will. And I could do it for less than 20, but the biggest expense I've got in it right now, or that I'd have to do to it, is tires. And tires are stupid expensive at the moment, but it needs all 10 tires replaced because they're just old. They've got good tread on them, but they're very old and they're too far out of date. I would never trust them for any real highway use. I mean, if I was pulling a trailer around here from property to property or something, then I'm not worried about that because, you know, not ever going over 35 mile an hour. But other than that, the paint job and fixing the interior would be most expensive. So, I mean, I could probably do it for 10 grand if I really, really tried. But I just don't see the sense in dumping 10 grand into it right now. I don't have a direct use for it, so it doesn't make any sense.
Big Kahuna says hello from Indiana. Enjoyed your cruise videos. Merry
Hello.
Christmas.
Hello, Kahuna. Thank you. I appreciate that you guys like the videos.
Mikey says freight rates have sucked terribly since the middle of the year.
Yeah, I mean, well, they've been bad for 3 years now, but it's just gotten even worse this year.
It has.
Yeah, I don't even keep up with that much anymore. I've just kind of turned my ear to it because I get so much other things I'm working on that's the least of my worries.
Lots of projects he's working on.
Yeah, and I can't afford to do any of them, so I'm trying.
Little by little.
The sad thing is, I know that if I could afford to start doing the projects, it would actually make good YouTube footage. But some of the projects I have, the way I want to do them, are very pricey. And because we've been rolling so much more money back into the business lately to expand the business, which has been working great, and it's definitely upped our income, but I'm not quite where I want it to be just yet. So I'm not ready to take that money to put into personal stuff where I'm trying to grow the business, and then eventually I can reap the rewards of growing the business to the point I want it to. It's just a process, and sometimes things have got to sacrifice. I literally have a bunch of stuff that needs to be done. And you guys will start seeing some of it. Like I said, hopefully this next week coming up, I'm going to start working on really getting that shop ready to start moving stuff into it. And if I film all that, you'll see how much crap I'm going to move over there. I mean, all the cars, the motorcycles, the trucks. I've got so many projects that are in this mid-process that are far from being done but have already been started and not usable, that it's a wreck. I've got so much crap, it's not even funny. So some of them I think I'm going to fix up and sell off. A few of them I'm keeping because I'll never get rid of, like my Bronco. I'll never get rid of the Bronco.
What are you thinking of getting rid of?
I'm probably going to sell the Camaro.
But you're going to leave the Monte Carlo alone?
Well, technically the Monte Carlo's Talons, though.
But you're putting the engine from the Camaro in there.
Probably, but it's like a project for him and I, but I just don't know when we're going to do it. I don't know. But I know I'm just not going to drive the Camaro around much anymore.
Yeah.
I was never comfortable in the car. I'm just too big to be in a Camaro. The Monte Carlo is a lot more comfortable. And it's a full chassis car too, so
yeah.
With the engine I'm putting in it, it's going to need that extra frame stiffness.
Bob and Tam says you always have lots of projects before Daytona.
Too many.
And then Tom Bryan says I'm a hodder as Oh.
Hoarder?
Hoarder. Yes, hoarder as well. Yes, he has lots and lots of stuff.
And it's not that I'm a hoarder, but I do have a hard time getting rid of stuff that I know I want to use. And even though I know that I can't possibly use all of these vehicles, even if I fix them all right now, with our travel schedule, I don't have time to even drive them, enjoy them most times. So that's why a few of them I may just fix up and get rid of, because it's just not the right time for me to have stuff like that. And then I can put that money to better use and maybe work on other projects. I don't know. Especially with the YouTube. I mean, to create good YouTube content, you've always got to have like a new project. So maybe in order to help the channel grow, I'll just keep doing projects and then find a way to sell them or get rid of them so that we can take that money and roll it into another project and then sell that one. And maybe we can get the projects bigger and better and nicer as we go along, as we start building more revenue for it. But you know, the YouTube doesn't really pay very much right now, so I can't afford to throw, 10 grand into restoring a car or doing something like that to make a video that makes $46,
Yeah. Oops, hang on. Grizzly Bear says, I always preferred the Monte over the Camaro.
Yeah, I'm a huge Monte Carlo fan. My very first cool car was actually my second car, but what I consider my first cool car was a 78 Monte Carlo, and I always regretted having to get rid of that car. It got totaled, so I didn't really have much of a choice, but that was my car, the car that I just absolutely loved. And if I had my way, I would have a whole line of Monte Carlos. I want a first gen. My favorite is the 7071. And then I'd love to have like a 77, and then the 78, the 80, and then the 81, the 80. We got an 85 out in the garage, and an SS. Yeah, I'd have a whole garage full of Monte Carlos if I had my way.
The Bronco is a 93.
Yeah, 93 Eddie Bauer, full size, removable hardtops. Well, all the Broncos were in the 90s, but it was that very last body style that they made from 93 to 92 to 96, I believe. 351 Windsor, small block. The engine actually is at the machine shop. It's done. I just need to go pick it up. I've even already paid them for it, I believe. I might owe them a little bit on it. But when COVID happened, everything hit the fan and we just completely kind of forgot about it. It's been sitting on the machine shop for years. I really need to go get it.
Yep.
So that's actually on my list. I don't have room to put it right now if I went to go get it.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
So again, one of the other reasons I want to get that other shop going, because then that Bronco can get put into that shop. The Bronco won't even fit in the garage here. It's too tall, and I just don't have room to keep it in the other shop here. So that shop, I can put it in there. I can work around it and start working on getting that engine put back in it. And it's going to be much more lively than it was when I took it out.
Take care, Jeff. Have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yep, thanks again for the Christmas card, man.
Harold Finley says, hey guys, how are you all doing?
We are doing well. How about you?
Tom Bryan says, if you get rid of stuff, you may need it in the future. Murphy's Law.
Yep. No, that's the way it always works. I mean, I've got buildings full of, crap that I keep because I'm like, hey, this is useful. And then after so many years, I'm like, you know what? I'm over it. Let's get rid of this junk. And then I'll throw it away. And then literally 2 weeks later, hey, don't I have one of those somewhere? I go searching for it and I realize it's something I threw away 2 weeks ago.
Or the kids break it, because that does happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Michaela makes jokes that we got Walmart.
Aw, you're so sweet, Grizzly Bear.
You gotta say what he said in case other people didn't see it.
So besides cruises and looking at the most beautiful Katie on YouTube, what do you do for recreation? Fishing, hunting, getting drunk, passing out in the yard. And then Bob and Tam said, your Christmas tree lights are causing your picture to go in and out of focus.
Oh. See, I wanted the ambience of the Christmas tree, but...
Maybe because they're blinking? Or they're fading?
Do you have a way of stopping them from fading?
I'd have to crawl underneath back there. I can try.
No, don't worry about it.
Let's see. Yes, blinking. Oh, I know it's blinking. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, they're like breathing, I think is what they call it. It like fades in and fades out.
It's an ombre. Harold Finley says, Adam, I like your videos.
Thank you, Harold. I appreciate it.
Believe it or not, most of the things that Adam does for fun is he tries to ride his bike as much as possible. That's the thing he does for fun.
Which I may actually do for a little bit tomorrow because the weather's still supposed to be nice tomorrow.
Yep.
And it'll be the last day before Christmas and everything.
Yeah. And so he loves to do that. He loves to hang out with the grandkids. We try to do a movie night every Saturday with our grandchildren. So when we're home, obviously.
It's not always a movie. Sometimes we'll watch, like lately Grace and I have been watching the Mandalorian series on the Disney Channel. Because I've been teaching him about Star Wars. You guys have seen that in some of the other videos over the years. And we've watched all of the movies together. And remember last winter we went down to that little exhibit that was down in Atlanta. And he thought that was really cool. So just before we went to Daytona, I think. Maybe it was after he came home from Daytona. I don't remember.
I just thought of what Brooklyn said.
What?
Oh,
yeah. So we started doing the Mandalorian series. Katie and I had already seen season 1, but we haven't seen season 2 yet. So I rewatched season 1 with Grayson, and now we're into season 2. And just so you know, she's laughing because there's a part in the season 1 of Mandalorian. I don't remember which episode it was, but where Mandalorian is leaving his ship and he tells Grogu, the child, to stay on the ship. And then he gathers his stuff and he goes to the doors ready to walk out, and he looks down and a little guy standing right there next to him, and he goes, "What the hell?" And they go. Well, then all of a sudden Brooklyn goes, "What the hell? Let's do it." It's just so funny coming from a 3.5-year-old. And then she went home later that night and said it to her mom.
Something about let's go to bed. She goes, "What the hell? Let's go to bed." Something.
Oops.
Oops.
We're bad grandparents.
Bad grandparents. That needs to be a YouTube channel. That'd be funny. So other than that, trying to think of what other stuff you're doing. He's always doing something.
Yeah. So who's going to what rallies next year? And just so you know, our 2024 proposed rally schedule is already in the description of all the videos. Not this one yet, but all the other ones I post. And you will see on there that near the Myrtle Beach Fall Rally, it also has the Thunder and the Smokies Rally, or the Smoky Mountain Rally, whatever they call it, the one that's up in Maryville. We're seriously considering not doing Myrtle in the fall and maybe doing that one instead. It's not set in stone. We don't know for sure, but we don't know which one of those we're going to do at this point. So they're both on the schedule. Just in case. And I didn't put the truck shows. I mean, I'm still planning on going to Mid-America in March, and 75 Chrome Shop in April. April, which will also hit the Leesburg Bike Fest. Not working them, just being there to get YouTube footage and just kind of hang out with people.
Yes, that. Grizzly Bear says, "I have loved the hilarity of you learning the editing tricks on the Insta360, even the vertigo-inducing spins."
You know,
those things get me too. I'll be watching them like, dear God, what did you do?
It's interesting, but I get so frustrated with it sometimes. If you remember in Galveston, I did one where I clamped it to the handlebar of my motorcycle and then stuck it way up so that we get all the people doing a time lapse for a couple hours of the day. But I can't figure out how in the time lapse to stop it from spinning. So when I'm doing a regular video, I can choose what direction it goes. But in the time lapse, it's like it wants to just continually spin all the time, and it drives me crazy. And I can't get it to just stop. I have to continually give it different focal points. And so on that one, I just gave up on it. I just let it spin because everything I tried to do make it look worse, believe it or not.
Can you slow down the spin?
No. There's no speed control in the spin.
Why?
I don't know.
There should be a speed control.
There should be. There's a lot of things I think there should be. They can't find it or don't know how to do it. But
anybody out there is with Insta360, slow the spin down.
But one thing I do want to do as well with the Insta360 is I like the way the video that we did out in South Dakota before the Sturgis Rally came out, where I used that camera to film the ride rather than my phone. I thought it got way better angles, and the clarity I thought was pretty good. Only problem is the microphone still kind of sucks on it. So I want to try to find a way to make a better microphone where, one, I can talk when I'm riding sometimes, and it'll take away some of that wind noise and hopefully make the bike sound better. I hate the way the motorcycle sounds on the videos. It sounds very tinny and tingy and tappy. It just doesn't sound like it does in real life.
Okay, Harold Finley says your camera is going in and out of vices. Tom Bryan, I could see it glitching, but that's it. Just a quick, and that was it. Tom Bryan says, got 5 rallies in England and 2 in Brazil. Was hoping to do Daytona in March, but I'll be in Brazil with my family.
I can probably just unplug the tree, right?
Don't you dare unplug my tree.
Why? It's messing with the video. We can plug it right back in when we're done.
That's going to kill the ambiance of the whole thing.
Well,
Just hit the button on it. It will change to whatever.
what button?
There's a button. Follow the cord.
Well, yeah, I've got the cord. I think it's the cord.
It goes to
Okay, there's another cord.
Yep.
Oh no, that's for the star on top.
There's another one.
Is it the big box looking
Yep.
thing? I don't see a button on it though.
There it is.
There. That
Okay.
works now.
No tree lights because it's bothering people.
I guess I can turn off the TV now too. Our Christmassy thing went off.
Well, you could have put that back on. That would have been fine. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties, but only momentarily. Okay,
Yep.
that doesn't look awful.
You know, I was going to do this in the office, like I normally do. And she's like, no, let's do it with the Christmas tree and the ambiance. So
I was expecting
I
a
spent-
big bang.
I spent almost half an
Damn
hour.
it, Tom.
I spent half an hour getting this all set up perfect, and then we had all these glitches. And what part of it was is I had the iPad all set up using the camera to see like the angles, but once I actually went to go live, it changed the zoom on it and put us like way too close.
You would have looked up his nose. It wouldn't have been pretty.
All right, so hopefully that fixed the whole camera thing.
Joanne Winters says, very merry and blessed Christmas to you all. Thank you, Joanne.
Same to you as well.
I was expecting a big bang.
What, when I unplugged the tree?
Yes. I will tolerate it for now for YouTube.
All right, guys, what else are we going to talk about? Are you guys getting good ideas for the year? Anything particular you guys want to see that's
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there anything-
realistic that I could do?
Yeah, is there anything you guys are wanting to see more of this year? Would be great to know. Again, how many people are going to be going to the rally this year, coming up for 2024? And is anybody getting a new bike soon? Curious to know what you're getting.
Oh, and the Patreon thing. I think I've got that like 99% set up now. I've got a few more little details to put on it. So hopefully first of the year, that should go live. And I've got a number of videos that what I'm trying to do, and I don't know if I can yet, I'm trying to get it where I can schedule them to release at certain times. So that like there's at least one video a week going up, and then I can throw other bonus footage in there as well. But I've got so much footage accumulated from these rallies where YouTube gave me the issues with the suitability. So I'm going to break them up into 8 or 10 minute videos so that they're not like 3 hours long, and put them up there. Now some of it will actually be footage that you've seen but not in its entirety, so you're going to get like the full cut of the video, so there will be a little bit of redundancy there. But there's also videos that I have never posted because they were never suitable, like when I've walked around Suck Bang Blow and some of the other bars. There was one night I went over to Suck Bang Blow and a couple of the girls were pretty raunchy, and I didn't even bother attempting to put it into a video because I just knew it wouldn't fly. So there will be some new footage there as well as all the uncut versions and like the stuff I had to take out of the videos during everything from Sturgis on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Streetclad09 says, love the updates on Goliath vids. Tom Bryan says, do a custom bike build on a budget and old school Frankenstein build. Harold Finley says, I'd like to see both you guys going to go bike riding. I disregarded it.
Well, you know what? You say that doing a budget build, I've got a bunch of upgrades I want to do to my bike, and we had a whole bunch of sponsors lined up for this year that were supposed to supply parts. Some of them did supply me parts, and I kind of led to that in some other videos. But I was waiting till all the parts got here in order to do like the full teardown and do kind of everything at once as a build series. And I wanted to do it over the winter where I don't have to take the bike from show to show. And that just didn't work out. A couple of the companies, I don't know the right word, but they kind of like fell back or lost interest, and
we were put on the back burner.
yeah. And then there was another one who I'll just say it was Chromeworks. Chromeworks was going to give me an exhaust, but then I guess the guy that had approved it and was in charge of it at some point throughout the year, he just kind of kept forgetting about me. He's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'll get it sent out to you next week." And then like next week came and it never came or whatever. And then when I talked to him in, I think it was Panama City in the fall or something like that, and he said that he's no longer in charge of the department. He's got no say over it anymore, and that I'd have to contact somebody else. I don't remember who he said. But then I was talking with D&D, because we're right next to them when we were in Lone Star Rally. In fact, I went over there, and it was the day after Adam Sandoval was there. I had no idea Adam Sandoval was there. I might have gone over and tried to meet him because I've never met him before. But anyway, I was over there talking with them, and so they may pick up that sponsorship, and talk to them about actually being able to go and do a tour of their factory so you can actually see how all the products are made and stuff like that. And because all that stuff's American made, it's right there in Austin, Texas. Austin? I think they're either, no, they're in Fort Worth, Dallas Fort Worth area, I think. I forget now, but anyway, Texas made, and I think that's cool. I love the whole seeing
American
how
made
things are made
and seeing how they're
and
made,
being
yeah.
able to go to the factories and do it and stuff like that. So that's a lot of what I want to start putting into the future videos, and it's just hard to make time to do it because of our travel schedule. So I've got a handful of people that are willing to do it. It's just of us working out the tour schedules, and I wanted it to be people that had parts that could donate to the bike so that we could do like a facelift on the bike. Mechanically, the bike is fine, it runs great. It's just getting beat up. I mean, it's been sitting out in the weather for 7 years now at every single
Yeah.
show, idling. So the sun's beating on it. Some of the paint's gotten chipped and cracked, and stuff falling on it in the trailer, especially with the old trailer. We didn't have the room. I didn't have like a good dedicated spot for it. I've had toolbox drawers come open in the trailer and like hit the tank and stuff. So I've actually bought this really nice cover from Honey Cover that's made to fit that motorcycle. Well, it's made to fit a Street Glide, and even though mine's not a Street Glide, but with the fairing, the fitment is pretty much the same. So that'll protect it in the future once I do it. So I want to take it apart, repaint it, put all these other new cool parts on it to give it a little bit of a classier look, and then and take it out next year again. I just don't know if I'm going to get it done before we go on the road because I just don't have time.
Yeah, this is true.
Because I'd like to do that at the new shop, but if I don't get the new shop set up in time to do it before it's time to go, which is going to be hard, and painting up here is challenging unless I just pay somebody to paint it, because it gets so cold here in the winter. I can't just paint it in my shop. I got to find somebody with a paint booth that's available and will let me use their paint booth. And I really want to paint it myself. I don't want to pay someone to do it. I like doing things myself. I know it won't turn out as good with me doing it. I'm an okay painter, but not a great painter by any means.
Okay, Tom Bryan said, this is back. Raunchy Girls sounds like Cafe 27 every night.
I don't know where that is, but
Probably a club that he's familiar with. Linda Payne says, will we see you at Bike Week? Absolutely.
That's the plan.
Mike Tad says, being fairly new to the channel, been looking forward to see where all you go next year and all the footage. Question, did you ever take in the rallies in Cherokee some years back before the casino? Yes, we did.
We did
a gold
We
wing.
did a Goldwing rally. It was a Goldwing regional rally in Cherokee once, probably 8 years ago. Maybe 9.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
It was a long time ago, and we did not do very well at all. The nice thing is it was close to home. There was actually, I think there was one night or 2 nights that we actually came home instead of staying in the rig overnight.
Yep.
Now this is back when we were just pulling the Overland around. It was before we had Goliath.
Yeah, because we didn't have power. We had to run off of California sidecars.
Yeah, California sidecar. They ran extension cord to us because we didn't have a generator at the time.
Well, no, the power pole there
Yeah.
was supposed to give us power, and something happened.
Yeah,
with
we were
scrolls
promised
or something.
power, but there was no power on site when we got there. Had I known, we would have, I don't know, we probably wouldn't have done it because we didn't have a generator at the time.
Yep.
Not that it would power the whole house. We had like a little suitcase 2,000 watt, which we could run some things off of, but we couldn't run, air conditioning and stuff like that off of it.
Nope. Okay, Grizzly Bear said, if feasible, maybe do some in-depth interviews and features on your rally compatriots, which we do. We do that quite often.
Yeah, we've done a few, not real in-depth ones, but that's why I said I want to get into more doing the tours of the factory. Wide Open Customs, they're the people who manufacture the fairing that's on my bike. They're out in Kansas, and Ben said absolutely he'd love to let us do a factory tour there and show how they mold everything and how they make the product. I think that would be really cool. I'm planning on trying to do one with Olin suspension as well, because even though they don't sponsor the channel or anything, Olin's is my favorite suspension because it's the best in the world, regardless of what anybody else tells you. And their North American headquarters is literally 10 minutes from my mom's house over in Flat Rock, North Carolina. So one of these days, hopefully this winter, I'm going to go just spend a weekend with my mom. That way I can go over there and hang out for a day and make a video on that product, which I think is really, really cool. And maybe I can get them to sponsor the channel at some point. If I get the new Road Glide I want, I definitely want to do Olin suspension on it. I'm not as concerned with this one right now. I've got pretty good rear suspension on it, and for what I use the bike for now, it does all right. But the Road Glide, I really want to make into a performance bagger, and there's no other way to go than Olin's when it comes to that.
Okay, and Rick Hughes says, Merry Christmas, see you in Panama City. Yes, we will. Merry Christmas to you. Tom Bryan says, sounds like false promises, Adam, from the companies. And then Grizzly Bear says, nope, let's see, corporate politics in America, companies is almost as insane as our government politics.
Yeah, and some of it's just hard to get people to do it. So I will say this, like Dakota Digital, they came through. They sent me a replacement dash unit for the speedometer and everything for my bike. And it's got the ability to, get into the BCMs and stuff like that. And like I can read cylinder head temperatures and a lot more functionality in it. And it's all digital too, which is pretty cool. I just haven't put it in yet because I wanted to do that when I did the whole teardown. But I may have to change my plans on it. I don't know. Ciro also gave me new saddlebag extensions. So I already have saddlebag extensions on the bike, which I paid for. It wasn't sponsored or anything. But they've been damaged over the years. So they replaced them for me for free. But that's all they were willing to do at this point. But I'm still grateful for that. And there was somebody else. Oh, Coastal Moto. They gave me a front wheel. Not for free. They didn't sponsor it. But they gave me a serious discount on it. Like below cost. So I still paid for it, but it was a really good deal, and it's a really nice wheel. So I can't wait to put that on there. But to do that, I've got to go back to dual caliper, and right now I've only got a single caliper. So I got to find out what I did with my old caliper and buy another brake line set to make that all work. So that'll be a little bit more of an in-depth project. But see, and I don't want to do the wheel now because I want to paint or powder coat all the fork leg tubes and all that stuff in a gloss black when I do the wheel. So that's the only reason I'm putting it off, because I'm not ready to paint yet, and I don't want to put the wheel on and do all that until I'm ready to paint, even though it comes right back off to paint. But that's just the way my brain works. I got to do one thing first.
Hi, Life Never. Merry Christmas to you and your wife. Let's see, where else? Mike Murray wanted to know, will you be in Laconia in 2024?
That is the question. I'm still waiting on an answer for that.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah. So I don't want to spread any bad will, but some of you know the situation with Chase Michaels. He was the promoter for Thunder Beach Productions in Panama City. He's also the owner. Him and his mother owned the company Katancha that owns Ocean City Bike Fest. And he was the promoter that handled all the vendors out at the Speedway in Laconia as well. And with all his legal troubles, I don't know the exact outcome of that. I don't know whether he's going to continue what he's doing or if his mom's going to take over. There were, what I believe, he said once before that his contract with the Speedway in Laconia only went through the 100th anniversary. So whether he's going to renew that contract or somebody else can take over, I just don't know. The sad thing is, if we cannot go to the Speedway, I don't know where else we'll go. There is no other place for us in Laconia.
Will fit us.
Yeah, there's no other place that we can physically fit that is level ground that I'm aware of anyways. I know they're trying to build that whole drive-in area up, and there might be some flat ground there, But Andre and Harry were out front of that, and the last 2 years, and they did not do well at all, and they don't even want to go back. It was so bad.
Yep.
So I don't know if I want to move to a place where my sales are going to suck. So the Speedway was the best place for us. So that's just up in the air. We don't know the answer. It's on the schedule, but it's obviously not a guaranteed thing.
Okay.
Oh, and I think Grizzly mentions about doing an old bike. So,
I think that was
may not have been Grizzly. It was like 10 minutes ago. We got
Tom
sidetracked.
Bryan.
Okay. I was actually talking to Zach earlier today. So, remember Zach bought that Chinese bike earlier in the year, and he's had a lot of fun with it. He winterized it for right now, and he's got a few things he needs to do with it. I guess Talon crashed it and bent the rim, so he bought a new rim, but it didn't fit right or something. Don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly, but he hasn't ridden it now in a couple of months. But the bike was seriously underpowered. I mean, it's a cool bike for the price, and if you just needed like a little commuter to get around, but it's not a fun bike to ride on the street. It's probably awesome off-road, but you can't really do over 55, 60 mile an hour with it. So, running on highways just doesn't really, not its strong point. So I mentioned to Zach earlier today that if he really wanted to move up to a bigger, more powerful street bike, I would let him borrow until we could have it. But if he wanted to put the money into fixing it, he could start using our Ironhead Sportster. So I've got that 83 Sportster sitting out in the shop. I gave it to Talon years ago, and then he kind of decided he didn't want a Sportster. He wanted to buy the Gixxer that he bought in Sturgis. So he told me I could do whatever I wanted with the Sportster again. So it's now back in my possession. And I think all it really needs is a charging system and a updated ignition system. And it'll run fine. The engine's good. I rebuilt the carburetor a few years ago on it. A few years ago. It was probably 10 years ago now. So I'll probably have to rebuild it again.
Yes.
Because it's just been sitting.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's a 1000 cc instead of a 250, and it's a Harley. It's going to have a whole lot more torque than that little Chinese 250 motor had. So I think he'll enjoy riding it a little bit better. And it's way cheaper for him to put a little bit of money into fixing that up than it is for him to go out and buy another bike.
Yep. Okay. Two things real quick. Merry Christmas, Ron.
Which Ron?
Ratfink.
Ratfink, okay. I watched your shorts today too, by the way.
Fisk 66. Have you guys ever done Americade? Yes, we have. It's very expensive to do.
Yes, but not officially. So we've the first year we went to
Warrensburg.
Lake George, we did Warrensburg actually, which is right down the road. It's the same time. It's basically the same rally, but at a different location. Even though they're not affiliated with one another, and we did okay. Didn't do all that great. And then we went back probably in, I think 2016 or 17. I think it was 17. We went back, or 18. I don't remember. And the thing is, they wanted so much money for me to set up there. It's ridiculous. And keep in mind, it's a 4-day event. And this is back when we were using the Overland. So we were only a 20-foot by 40-foot section. They wanted like $6,500 or $7,500 for us to set up for 4 days. And that just doesn't make sense. I can't change enough oil to cover that cost and still actually make any money. Probably not even to cover that cost. That would be awful. So what we did is we had another friend that was vending, and he was selling tires and stuff like that. So he allowed us to set up a section under his tent where we just sold love jugs, did love jug installs, and then we only paid him a couple $100 for rent in his thing. And the whole premise was we were going to make him a dealer as well. And then that didn't work out, but it got us at the event, and we did okay there, but it's because all the expenses were down. And then in 2019, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 19, because it was before COVID, was the first time we ever went with Goliath. And we set up at the TP Leather Shop, which is just south of Lake George on Route 9, I believe. And we did better there, better than we'd done in any of the other places, but it was still back behind a building. You couldn't even see us from the street, and it wasn't good business. Katie and I did it by ourselves. We didn't have Chip with us then. We didn't have any help at all. Mm-mm. And we were still sitting around, twiddling our thumbs most of the day, other than a couple really crappy jobs that took forever to get done. Like, I should say crappy jobs, challenging jobs that like things just didn't work out right on. And And then I almost died riding around the lake, so we just haven't been back.
Yeah, that's true too. I forgot about that.
That was the day my bike tried to kill me, or that
Yep.
one night.
Mark W says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Time for bed. Taking the grandkids to the movies tomorrow. Wish me luck.
Good luck. Merry Christmas.
By yourself, you brave soul. You need rest. Okay. Flip wants me to buy the blue mule for you so he can put parts on it.
Yeah, I just don't want that bike. I want a road glide.
Yeah.
I want the fixed fairing.
Yes, he's always wanted that. He likes those.
No, if I had my choice, I'd buy the new ST because it's a good base bike to start a performance build out of. I mean, you can build a performance bagger out of any of them, but that's a good one to start with. Read it.
Grizzly Bear says at Mark W. Duct tape and chloroform works every time.
Was
Oh,
it
man.
sleepy spray? Is that what it was? Or nap time spray?
Nap time spray, is that what they call it? It's awful. So there's only 40 of you guys on here, so
That's actually pretty good.
is that good?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, we're not a huge YouTube channel, so we're not going to get the hundreds of them.
Okay.
Even Baggers and Brews the other night, they were up to like 50 something, I think, at their peak.
Oh, okay.
That's not
Well,
too
that's
bad.
good then.
But
So
they're way more interesting than we are. Those guys are just kind of funny.
So we want to talk to you also about my little project that I've been working on for a while. As some of you guys know, I developed an app, and it's called True Path Holistics. And when we got done, when we were finished with the Galveston rally, we drove home, got on an airplane, and flew to Marlborough, Massachusetts, which is 40 minutes west of Boston. Hold on.
Well, we
I'll
actually
read that
flew
for a
to
second.
Boston, but yeah.
But yeah, we flew to Boston, and Amanda came and picked us up, and I did an expo there, or we all did an expo there, and it went really well. It is a holistic app, so it's based off the 8 holistic principles, and it's there to help you pick your path on how you want to heal with different options with different practitioners that are out there that most people don't know that are even available to them. So
All right, Streetlight09 asked, are you going to continue selling tires, or did that work out so well? No, it worked out fine with a few exceptions. So as of right now, the plan was only to do tires at Sturgis, and we're going to continue to do tires at Sturgis. Whether I make that more mobile to go to other rallies is up in the air. And here's why I say that is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Randy Cycle Shack, but he sells tires, he does the Lucas oil and a bunch of other repairs. Well, Randy's a really great guy, and I consider him a friend. I mean, we're not super close, but I consider him a friend. And there's a lot of venues where him and I are sitting next to each other, and I'm not the kind of person that's just going to go and directly compete with one of my friends right away, because I know that if I do good, I'll be taking business from him. It's just a professional courtesy thing, and I know that not everybody has that courtesy. There's a lot of people out there competing with each other. I just don't want to be that guy, plain and simple. Like I said, I respect Randy, so I'm not going to do anything to step on his toes. When it comes to Sturgis, Randy is like 35 miles away from us, and he can't service everybody in Sturgis. There was another tire guy that used to set up out at Three Forks. In fact, he's the one that we set up with when we were in America that one time. Mm-hmm. And he retired a few years ago and sold his business, and I don't even know where the guy that took it over sets up at now. But so my only competition is the Harley dealer, really, over there. And I know that I can beat the Harley dealer's prices, so it's a spot that made sense to do it. There was talks of doing it in Laconia as well, because there's nobody doing tires where we are in Laconia. I don't think Randy does Laconia at all anymore.
no,
So again, I wouldn't be
I
stepping
don't even know who does tires in Laconia when the rally goes on, other than the Harley dealer.
No, the guy that Finn works
J&P?
for. No, the guy that Finn works for. I can't think of his name right now.
Ethan?
Ethan, yeah. Ethan was up on the hill where Lobster Pound used to be. But I don't know where he's going to go next year.
Yeah, because that's all getting
because
built
all that's
out.
getting developed. So that there will be no vendors there next year, from what I'm told, because they're going to build condominiums there. So he may end up coming out to the track, and at that point, then I don't want to be direct competition with him either. So there's a lot involved there, but then there's also the moving of the equipment. I don't have room in Goliath to put a tire machine and 2 more lifts and the balancer and everything else, not to mention the inventory. So we would have to put another rig on the road, which my first thought was that's where the Kenworth comes in. Instead of turning that into a trucking company thing, I could just add it to the Extreme Bikes fleet, go buy an old moving trailer or something and equip it as the tire shop. But I just don't know if that makes sense now at the moment, because it's going to take a lot of money to do that. And if I can only do it at 2 or 3 shows, does it justify driving a big rig across the country? As of right now, I have all of those tools and equipment stored in a Connex box in Rapid City, so that when I go to Rapid City, all my equipment's already there. I don't have to transport it. It costs me $1,700 for the entire year to keep it there. That's cheaper than the fuel it would take just to get it back home. So
Yeah,
that's what made the most sense for right now. At some point, I may change my mind on that. Like, I could probably take the tire rig to Myrtle Beach, because Randy doesn't do Myrtle Beach either. Ethan does. So I wouldn't really want to step on his toes either out of professional courtesy, but I'm not as friendly with Ethan. I mean, I know him, I got nothing against him, but I don't necessarily consider him a friend. I mean, I don't even really consider him a colleague. Again, nothing bad about him, I just don't know him. So
An acquaintance.
Yeah, I mean, I've met him and I've said hi to him, but I don't know him, you know? And so I guess I wouldn't feel as bad about being his competition as I would being Randy's competition. But I just don't know that it makes sense to do that just yet. It takes a lot of money to put a rig on the road. I mean, when you factor in the fuel that it takes, the insurance, plus the money I'd have to put into the truck, buy a trailer. I mean, I'm looking at spending $30,000 to $40,000 minimum just to make that happen. Then it's like, well, how long would it take to recoup that if I'm only doing 2 shows a year? If I was doing 20 shows a year with it, there'd be no doubt in my mind. I just don't know that that's the right thing to do.
Okay.
So yes, we're still doing tires, but as of right now, only in Sturgis.
Okay. Emery HVAC says, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, Emery.
You've got to go look on the app. I did put you on there, and I wanted to see what you thought. Hello, Nick from VLOX 18.
Hey, Nick.
Merry Christmas to you and your family. Eric D says, thanks for the app, Katie. I just started seeing a holistic doctor for the first time. Really like them so far. I do too. They listen.
Hey, speaking of Nick, how many of you guys want to see a collaboration between the two of us? We have been planning one for, 3 years now, Nick, I think?
It's been a bit.
And we just never find time to make it happen. But I have all of his parts.
Why don't you do the live when you go there to do the bypass system for his truck?
We could do that.
Have the whole thing be live.
Yeah.
I don't know if...
Well, no, it's way too long to do a live. It'd take hours to do that. So, and I'd be focused on putting it on. No, I wouldn't do a live, but
You could do a little of both.
probably not.
Anyway.
Move on.
Moving on. Grizzly Bear says Emery HVAC into house. Let's see. Where did I at? Chasing Ghosts. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Hey, how are you?
Hang on. Lost my place here. Tom Bryan says Harley Davidson 1950s technology at 2030 prices.
It's definitely not 1950s technology anymore, but
AMF. Oof. Somebody went there.
yeah. Luckily, my Sportster's in 83. It's the first year not AMF after the whole AMF thing. 82 was AMF, 83 was not.
Nick says, ha ha, someday it'll happen.
Well, right now, Nick, I've got the time. So maybe after Christmas we'll figure
Katie
something
don't
out.
like me no more. Yes, Flip, you better calm yourself down.
Are you out working tonight, Nick, or are you taking the weekend off for Christmas?
Your mom said hi to Emery.
Oh, is Mom in there too?
Your mom's
I
on.
had no idea. You didn't tell me yet.
She just commented. How am I going to know? Okay, Mark Neff. I'm sorry. Mark Neff asked this earlier. I believe it was you. When are you going to get your Patreon channel up? Would like to see the videos you couldn't post on YouTube. And Emery HVAC says, hi, Mama S. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we talked about the Patreon channel just a little while ago, and I'm hoping that by the first of the year, it'll all be up and going. I've got the account set up. I've got a few more details to work out on it, and I've got to figure out how to get the links to the videos in there. I was really surprised. So basically, Patreon really doesn't allow you to post videos on there. Now, they've got this test thing in place right now where you can, and they charge fees for it, but it's basically just a doorway to get to a YouTube video that you have to have a link to watch. So from what I'm understanding is I still have to post the videos on YouTube, but through Patreon, you can gain access to the video that's actually hosted on YouTube. So, which is kind of good because at least I know how to upload videos to YouTube already. But yeah, then all that content that YouTube wouldn't allow me to put up there because of suitability. And I don't want to say they wouldn't let me put it up there, wouldn't let me monetize it. That will go on there. So as I told people earlier, there is going to be a little bit of redundancy there. You're going to see some stuff that you've already seen, but you're going to see the uncut version of it. So there'll be more content to it, but there will be some stuff that you already saw. And there are some videos up there that were never released either.
Okay, Nick says, I'm off, just finished a 90-hour week, so I think I deserve this cigar I'm smoking by the fire pit right now.
Damn right you do, Nick. Damn right.
90 hours. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch his videos, I didn't watch the one he put out yet today, but he's doing a lot of late nights till 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Nick, I gotta come do a ride along with you too while I'm out there. We'll put the parts on your truck, and then I'll go out and do some repos with you, and I think it'll make some pretty cool content. And we got to get you on Goliath. I want you to drive Goliath.
Robert Schroeder says, so did I miss where you said you were working on the Ironhead video?
Yes, actually, Robert, you did. We're not working on it yet, but I was talking to Zach earlier today about him buying the parts needed to fix it, and then he can pretty much ride it whenever he wants for as long as he wants until he decides to buy himself another bike. Because he just can't afford to buy another bike right now. So I offered that to him since Talon doesn't want it, and I have no interest in really riding it, but I don't want to get rid of it because, it's a cool old Ironhead, so I don't want to let it go, but I'm not ever really going to ride it around. So figure this way at least it gets put to use. And it's pretty old school, and I think he'd like it. I mean, it's an old, like I said, it's a 1000 Ironhead Sportster. It's got the 6-inch over front end on it. It's not a chopper, but it's just kind of a cool setup.
Wasn't that Chris Adler's old one?
Yeah, it's the one I bought from Chris Adler a long, long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away. She didn't want to get off the boat, Flip. Now she wants to go on a Mediterranean cruise.
Are you talking about Mama S?
Yes. We should start a GoFundMe for her.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to buy Mama S a cruise,
She wants to go to the Mediterranean. That's like one on her bucket list. She wants to go.
The sad thing is I was looking at cruises online yesterday or the day before, because we just got off of the cruise ship. They're offering us this like 40% discount to book a cruise for like 24 or 25. And I was looking at the Mediterranean ones, some of the really nice 10-day ones over there. With a 40% discount, they're not half bad priced, but
No, the only thing
I haven't
is
looked at what the airfare is to get over there. And
I say
everything else.
you have to fly there first,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have to fly back.
Yeah, I know.
So it's more like a month away.
Yep, I'm fine with that. Just gotta figure out when we can do it. It'd have to be right after Sturgis again or something.
Robert Schroeder says, okay, if he don't take you up on that, I will.
But Robert, you have to come up here to ride it because I'm not letting you take it to Florida.
Okay, Chasing Ghosts says, I posted unlisted YouTube on Patreon for Patreons only videos and early access for Patreons. It works well. That makes sense for you?
Yeah,
He understood that. I didn't understand that. I'm like,
I think so.
I need to
Like
read
I said,
them.
it was confusing. It's not, I thought it was going to be just like YouTube, where I just take my video and I upload it, and then you'd have to come into the system to do it. And it's totally not what I thought it was.
yeah.
But anyway, hopefully by the 1st, it should be all up and running, or shortly thereafter.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna dedicate all of my nights next week after Christmas is done. So, it's been getting dark here about 6 o'clock, and it's been getting really cold. So I'm trying to minimize working at night. So about 6 o'clock, I want to come in, take a nice hot shower because I'm usually freezing by the time I get in here, and then I want to spend at least 3 or 4 hours in the office on the computer, getting all the Patreon stuff in order now that everything is all set up.
Yeah, we're both gonna be busy on the computer this winter.
And in addition to the videos that I've already got that you haven't seen, I've got a whole bunch of footage that I haven't even made into videos yet. I mean, probably hours of footage. So I got quite a bit there. But I've got some plans for some future photo shoot ideas that I think you guys are going to like. It'll be far more risque than what's on my normal channel. It's not going to be porn or nothing like that, but it is definitely going to be risque.
Eyebrow raising.
Yeah.
It's going to be eyebrow raising.
I've got a few models who have volunteered to do some really nice photo shoots with some really cool motorcycles. So now I got to find access to cool motorcycles because I don't want to put my bike in every video. But I think it'll be really cool. That's going to come down the road a little ways, not right away, but we may start filming and stuff in the near future. One of the models happens to live about an hour and a half from me, so hopefully over this winter we're going to make an appointment to do like a test shoot basically and see how it all works out. And what's so funny?
I'm going to get to it. Hang on. Robert Schroeder says, good excuse to head to the mountains in the spring. And he says he'll bring the parts. Emery HVAC says, Kiefer on a chopper. Maybe? LOL.
Yeah, Kiefer's not my type. But you know what? We make a ladies only video. So
maybe we'll start filming some of the guys that we know and say, okay, who do you want to be on,
Yeah.
Do a photo.
We could probably get Safe to like.
I was going to ask Safe.
I don't know if you guys have seen Safe in any of our videos. He's been in a couple, but he's built. I mean, I'm not into guys, but he's a very handsome dude, and he's built.
Yeah, and he's very just even keel spoken. He's
a super nice guy, really is.
And he's just got the nicest wife. She's so sweet. Okay, getting back to this. Hang on.
Yeah.
Grizzly Bear says eyebrow raising, among other things. Yeah.
Like I said, it's going to be risque for sure. Like I said, not porn, but I think you guys will enjoy if it works the way I want it to.
Let's just say that I went to my first. I've been to bikini contests because I've had friends enter them, but I went to my first wet t-shirt contest and I was like, "Is this normal?" And I was like, "No,
no." That's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other photo shoots with the models.
I'm talking about the video.
Yeah. No, yeah. You guys haven't seen the footage from the wet t-shirt contest from the Beaver Bar this fall, but it was absolutely a no-go for YouTube.
No.
So it will be on Patreon. It's going to be a little bit of a lengthy video, but
good Lord.
It was. I will tell you this: Miss Myrtle Beach is in it, and she looked really, really good. And there was somebody else in it who didn't look as good, but she was very. I don't know what the word to use here is without
seasoned. She was seasoned.
Yeah, she was on something. You could tell that like nobody was home. I think she was on ecstasy or something. I don't really know.
Or crystal or
but
I don't know.
She
something.
was.
She a mess.
It was way more than a wet t-shirt contest. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Anyhow, all right. Getting back to this. Tom Bryan says I couldn't do a cruise. I'd be afraid of doing a Joey Dunlop when he went to the Isle of Man. One time the boat sank.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. If you look at cruise safety and how many people die because of cruise ships sinking, it's almost nothing. I'm not saying it's never happened. I mean, there was the whole Titanic, but still, it's not a common thing. It's actually more safe than you get in your car and driving to work.
Flip says the mule, great model bike, motorbike.
Yeah, we could use the mule for one of them.
Robert Schroeder says, can Ghostly Girl come play? She smells good with her fancy fuel.
Absolutely, anytime.
Who's Ghostly Girl?
That's what names his bike.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Velox 18. I picked up a couple bikes this week, a Street Glide and an XL 1200. What year is the Street Glide, Nick? And Robert Schroeder said, I can send pictures. She's 25 now. Mark Neff said, what is the name of your other channel?
It's still sitting in my shop.
I didn't know you had others. He also has Trucking with Amsoil Adam, and the other one is Halstead Homestead. We haven't done a lot with that channel, but we're going to be working on that too. Cure for Parkinson's says hi from Orlando. Hello. Tom Bryan says Cabbage Patch footage would be porn.
In some cases, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know. Okay. Mikey Tats is going to bed. Time for bed. Got to work tomorrow. Hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and hope that all will keep the spirit in your hearts. Thank you, Mike.
Same to you, man. Have a good night. Didn't mean to keep you up so late. Yeah, it's only 10 o'clock. It's not late.
Well, if he has to go to work early.
Yeah, he's got to get up at like 3 or something, I guess.
Cure for Parkinson's. I need my spider oil changed.
What rallies are you coming out to?
Are you going to be going to Daytona in March?
Or any of the others?
Grizzly Bear says Isle of Man means tourist trophy. It's one of the most insane motorcycle races in the world.
I'm very familiar with the Isle of Man. You don't have to explain it to me. It's one of my favorite races.
Yes. Nick said, I believe the street light is a 2014. Tom Bryan said it's 3 a.m. here. Have we already been on that long? You've been on since the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick, you really need to hook me up with your banker, whoever it is, so that I get like first dibs on these bikes once they get back in their possession. If I can pick them up cheap before they go to auction. Maybe I'll start a motorcycle dealership on repo bikes.
Flip says, Merry Christmas, regift the bobhead flannel. No! That's mine.
Yeah, she likes it. It fits her very well.
It does. Cure for Parkinson's, yes. We will be at the Speedway for Daytona Bike Week.
Yes.
Just like always.
Just like always, yeah. Been there for 14 years. 15. Wait, 16 now. I don't know. It's been a long time.
You can actually go on our website and make an appointment
Yep, true.
when it gets just a little bit closer so that, you know, we know you're coming and put the time out there. Let's see. Robert Schroeder, of course, a 1998 Softail Custom may be too old for these new models.
No, I don't think the year of the bike makes any difference as long as it's a good looking bike, and I've seen your bike and it's definitely a good looking bike.
Cure for Parkinson's, we don't do Leesburg. Leesburg is a very short rally and it's extremely expensive.
I will most likely be in Leesburg, but we won't be set up as a vendor. I'll just be walking around getting YouTube footage and hanging out with other vendor friends.
Nick says almost all of them are for Harley Financial and they usually send them up to Manheim, Indianapolis. Yes. Good night, Tom Bryan. Cure for Parkinson's, I'll show you the Randy Rhodes place where he was killed.
Okay.
No bike's too old for models. That's funny, Tom Bryan. So yes, we've had a busy year, and I know next year's probably going to be just as busy as this year, especially with, you know, being on the road, and then we're also going to be doing some expos for True Path so that, you know, more people find out about it, and I can get advertisers and sponsors. You know, to be put on the app and such. So we're going to be, you know, busy with that kind of stuff as well. And I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but he's talking about doing a True Path YouTube channel so that for people who are possibly he hasn't committed 100% to it, but that way, you know, we can still get information out to people. And
my thought was just people that are looking for that holistic stuff, they're not going to come to an Amsoil Adam channel. It just doesn't fit the demographic. So I want to focus on those people and be able to give them that information. And of course, I mean, it's great that you guys are still willing to share it and everything. So yeah, if you meet anybody that you think it can benefit, you know, get them to download the app. It's absolutely free, so there's no reason not to.
But you never know who it's going to help, because there's a lot of people out there that are sick and their doctors just aren't even able to help them with anything because they don't know what to do with them, because they may look like they're healthy or their blood work might be good, but they're not, and nobody's taking them seriously, and they're frustrated, which kind of forces them sometimes to do other alternative things. So at least this way they know that there are alternatives out there for them, if they're in a position like what I've dealt with for so many years.
And one of the things that was really cool, and I mentioned it in the video while we were in Massachusetts, is that not one, but multiple people that we talked to were so enthusiastic about what we were doing and thought it was great, but that they'd actually touted us as the Angie's List of the holistic health world, which is huge. I mean, those of you that aren't familiar with Angie's List, I mean, I'm not even overly that familiar with Angie's List, but it started out as a simple referral company and has turned into this like multi-billion-dollar company. It's insane. And I'm not saying that that's our aspiration to try to be that big, but if we've got that kind of a recognition, then the potential is huge here. It really is.
Robert Schroeder says, I got beautiful pictures in June on the Parkway at the High Point sign parking lot with some of the Cannonball bikes.
Cool.
I bet it was really pretty then, and warm. Flip says, holistic is how I got off of prescription meds. Me too. Reiki is very good for people.
It does take a lot of work, though. I mean, don't underestimate how much effort Katie has put into making this happen. Just the data entry alone to make the app, and it's so small at this point compared to what it is, and she's got so much information in there. But at some point, it's going to be absolutely huge. I mean, things are being broken down into the different states, and at some point, we might even have to break states down into different regions. We don't really know what the end result is going to be, but it's just going to be huge. It's going to be such a big directory.
Interactive, constantly moving app. And like I said, it's free to the end user. I am looking for advertisers and sponsors, who want to advertise on there if they're in the holistic arena.
But you got to be holistic. You got to provide something that is truly a holistic approach to trying to better someone's health. There's and that's where the whole Angie's List thing comes in, is because Katie is personally vetting every single advertiser that's going to go on here. So, like when you go to Google and you Google a holistic dentist, you get thousands of results, and almost none of them are actually holistic. Just the way their search algorithm is, they throw everything at you based on how much the advertiser paid. So even if you're not looking for this, because the algorithm thinks that it could benefit that company because that company paid a buttload of money, they're going to throw it in front of you anyways. And what Katie's doing completely eliminates that. When you go to holistic dentists in Florida, you're going to find nothing but holistic dentists that are in Florida. That's it. There's no other pop-up ads. There's no nothing. There's sponsorship ads. There are people that pay more money to get the bigger ad, but you're not going to see them unless they're in that category that you're looking for. So, you're not going to look for holistic dentists in Florida, and because the guy in California paid a bunch of money, his ad's not going to pop up.
Right, exactly. And believe it or not, speaking of holistic dentistry, I only have 2 on there. And
in the whole country.
In the whole country so far. And so I'm going to have to start breaking it up into states in order for me to try to find more, because there's a lot of dentistry out there, but they're not holistic. So, they're using, silver still to do fillings and stuff, which isn't good for you and can cause neurological issues. But that's another thing. But let me catch up on this real quick. Flips, he said, my ex is a Reiki master in Chester. Nick says, I guess they sell for more up in Indy than they do down in the Nashville auction. Tom Bryan says, I believe in holistic medicine. A friend of mine put me on it years ago. Flip says, remind me about the sponsors when I call. I'll pay to sponsor my ex. Robert Schroeder says, got colloidal silver from 25 years ago that still has the gold sheen to this day. Durable if stored property. Heck yeah, that stuff is gold in a bottle.
Who said what about the sponsor and the ex? What?
Flip. Because his ex is a Reiki master in Chester. Look on the app and see if she's already on there.
And if she wants to do a sponsorship to make her ad bigger and more presentable, then
because we went Flip. We did the Natural Living Expo in Marlborough, Massachusetts. She may have gone. Let's see. Rick Happ, working family. Hope all the best fortunes come to you and your family in 2024. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. P.S. More yoga pants in 2024.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. See, he also says, thanks for sharing all your fun and travels in 2023. He says you are a very hardworking family. And says, and then he repeats it, hope all the best fortunes come to you and your family in 2024.
Thank you again.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, you know, what we do is very hard work. A lot of people underestimate it that aren't in the industry, but it takes a lot to do what we do. I mean, I absolutely love it, so I'm not complaining about it by any means, because, I mean, I thrive more personally when we're on the road than I do when we're at home. I feel like you get way more accomplished then, and I'm generally happier, I think. I actually get a little
giddy.
Yeah, like on busy, crazy days when it's like we got 1,000 people that all
we
want
have
the
a
same
lot
thing
of
at the same
pressure.
time. That's when like my instinct just kicks in, and
Yep.
I just flow and I go.
Ebb and flowing.
And then when we slow down, like we come home, like remember we live out in the country, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's very relaxed here for the most part. There's no rush on anything, and I kind of get in this. Well, it's not a big hurry to do things. And I'm not saying I'm like depressed or sad, but I definitely come down. I don't get that giddy, hyper, silly satisfaction from it, I guess. I don't know if I'm phrasing that right, but I work way better under lots of pressure than I do with no pressure.
And he'll have plenty of yoga pants, don't worry.
I'll find everyone I can.
His radar will go off. Beep, 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 beep. Let's see. Flip. Ask her what she thinks of the app so far. And then I can always answer questions for her if she is interested. That would be wonderful. Thank you. Robert Schroeder says, Katie, it's not a bright color at all. Very faint. No, but it is. It's gold, though. I mean, it's literally gold in a bottle because colloidal silver does so much for the body. It's so good for you. Let's see. Rick Happ, I know how to keep things lubed. Keep it lubed with Amsoil.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Life Naver. Adam, if you shave your beard, would your hair grow on your head?
Probably not.
Listen, he is not bald by any stretch of the imagination. He has
I haven't shaved
hair.
in like 4 days, so my hairline is right here. I am not balding in one bit whatsoever.
No,
I just
not
don't
at
like
all.
my hair.
But when his hair grows out, it looks like kinky curly hair. His hair could be wet all the way down to his back, and it'll be like up to his chin, and it'll just be this fuzzy curly business.
I'm a firm believer there's some ethnicity in my background.
And his head, even this right now, it feels like a steel wool brush. It's just very coarse. So he's shaved it for 25 years.
I started shaving it when Mickey was a baby, so yeah.
At least 28.
But then I stopped for a while, then I went back, yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, I went through the blonde phase where I was a blonde.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Let's see. Island Pacific Boys, Merry Christmas from Vancouver Island and Happy New Year. Best to you in 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Vancouver. You know, we wanted to go up and see Vancouver while we were in Seattle. We just didn't get a chance to, but we did go over to Victoria on the cruise ship.
Yep. Yes, a kinky afro. When we were teenagers, it was blonde, naturally blonde. It wasn't this platinum thing that he did years later for fun with a friend of his.
Yeah, it was more of a dare, but
yeah, but no, his hair was blonde, and he kind of looked like a blonde buckwheat. His hair would just go every which direction. Oh, Grizzly Bear says kinky hair grows from a kinky brain. Ask me how I know.
No comment? Keeping it clean. We're on YouTube.
Lifer Nav says...
And Nick's a pastor. We can't say anything bad in front of Nick.
Nick is not dead. I'm sure he was a truck driver too, so I know he's not, yeah. Let's see. Life Never says, sounds like your hair would be like the 70s coaches in the Waterboy afros. Exactly. And your mom says, your hair was straight when you were a baby. Well, something happened when he hit puberty, Kathleen.
Yeah, it was like middle school. If you look at my middle school pictures, my hair is straight, and then it gets real wavy and curly over here. I used to like brush it to the side, and it got to where like I could have it perfectly straight before I went to school, and by halfway through the day, the curl would start coming up and it looked all stupid. I was such a dork in school.
Cute one.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so Robert Schroeder says, so do you have some stonemasons ready to do work at the shop building? It would be nice to get going on that if weather allows. Curious about the progress.
Yeah, unfortunately not the progress I wanted, but I'm really hoping that next week I can get over there and start getting some stuff. Now that the tractor is fixed and I've got most of the business paperwork closed out for the year, not quite done, but I'm almost done. I'm really hoping that I can spend a couple weeks over there and really get it ready to start moving stuff in. I'm looking at you. I keep forgetting the camera's over there. Yeah.
It's a conversation.
I know.
Oh,
But yeah,
boy.
I've got to secure the building. I'd like to put a couple windows in it. I just don't know if it's in the budget or not. I got to measure the openings and see if I can find something at one of we got a couple of the like surplus warehouses around here. Maybe we can find some cheap windows. There's no insulation in the building at all, but most times I'll be working in there. I don't mind working in the cold all that much, so we'll see.
Flip says, Mama S told you not to put a knife in the outlet, and your mom was laughing.
Yeah. I did put a knife in the outlet once.
That's probably why she's laughing.
I was always curious. Metal in the microwave? Yeah.
Break all the eggs in the refrigerator? Larry Waldron. Merry Christmas to both of you. Have a wonderful holiday. Never miss your show. Been here since the beginning. Watch mainly on TV and can't message on that.
No worries. But make sure you hit the like buttons at least.
Yes, just hit the like buttons, please.
So you said since the beginning you watched for like 10 years?
You haven't had it going for 10 years.
I know that, but we get people come up to us sometimes. They're like, oh man, I've been watching your channel for 5 years. I'm like, that's pretty good. You're psychic because I've only been doing it for 3. But sometimes I'm a smart ass.
Sometimes?
I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. It's more joking, but sarcastic.
Oh, Robert, no. He says, I put the spray insulation in my shop years ago. Made an instant difference. We had an issue with that.
Yeah, a little bit. So when I encapsulated under the house, I did use the spray foam to fill in all the
nooks and crannies.
Yeah, well, all the joist, the bay. What do they call them? Where basically all the floor joists meet the wall. It's the end, the little bay up in there where a lot of air leaks through. I sealed all that up. But just before Thanksgiving, I put new windows in this room and the dining room. So you guys can't see it, but right over there's a big window by the dining room table, and then there's 3 in this room over here. And I use the smaller spray foam, so I've got the gun and the can screws onto it. And when I was done with the last window, or no, second to last window, I went to go unscrew the can, and instead of the can unscrewing from the gun, the adapter that the can screws into unscrewed from the gun. But the piece that releases the foam from the can is in that adapter, so it was wide open. So when I unscrewed it, it just started spraying foam everywhere. It was in my beard, all over my shirt, on my glasses, the curtains, all over the kitchen. Oh, it was a mess. It took Katie and I like 2 hours.
I know, he's like, honey, can you come help me? I walk out and I look at him, I'm like,
foam in my beard. I'm
like, oh my gosh, we have to save the beard. So I ran and grabbed some hair oil that I use for myself, and I just start slowly pulling it out of his beard.
Yeah,
he had it on his
oil
mouth.
on it. So, because that stuff, if you try to take it off, it smears, and the smear is extremely, extremely tacky and sticky, and it takes lacquer thinner to break it down. So she oiled everything around it so that as she pulled it off, it wouldn't stick to the next little bit of hair below it.
And it also almost compressed it and made it come off quicker. But yeah, oh man.
It was a mess.
Oh God, that was such a mess.
And there's
Like,
still
save
stains
the
on the
bear!
stains on the floor in there from it. But
Oh yeah, that stuff is not easy to get out of stainless steel, or linoleum, or formica.
yeah.
We're still dealing with that.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have been recording. It would have been funnier than hell, but
I probably would have. All right, cure for Parkinson's. You have a traveling shop. Ever thought of opening a sticks and bricks location? We used to have our shop over in over in UCF, over in the East Colonial area, over that way, for a couple years, and we were in Winter Park for a couple years. But we had to get out of Orlando, so here there isn't as much business to support a regular shop. Not that we don't have clients here, because we have built clients over the 12 years we've been here. In fact, Adam went to look at a bike today that needs work done on it.
it's an old iron head, Robert.
But anyway, so we went ahead and just got rid of that, decided to go more mobile. It's more cost effective.
It's just totally different. So yeah, through up until 2012, which is when I actually closed the shop in Orlando, we had the largest independent motorcycle shop in all of Central Florida, square footage wise. I mean, we were bigger than some of the dealerships in the area. But life wasn't good for us there. We didn't like where we were living. It was a struggle every day to pay the bills. We had plenty of work. It wasn't as good of work, I should say. With what we're doing now, I actually service way more motorcycles in far less time, and we make a better living at it. But we're to a point now that, like, before I was still working on motorcycles here. So I've got a shop here on the property. We don't do a lot of advertising, but people around here know who I am, and if they need their bike worked on, they would call me. We'd go get it. Most times I wouldn't even let customers bring it over. I would just offer free pickup and delivery. So I'd hook the little trailer to the back of the truck. I'd go pick up the bike, bring it here, fix it, take it back to you when we were done. Just because we do live technically in an HOA, even though we're out in the country, we're not allowed to run a business from our house that has customer traffic. So like, having this as our office for our company is not a problem, but like they don't want you running a store out of the neighborhood. So we were doing that, and just as the business grew, we got to the point where we're working on so many motorcycles at the rallies, and when I come home, I almost don't want to work on customer bikes. So like, you guys are in here, you saw Flip was asking a question about his tires. Flip lives right down the road. I'll change Flip's tires, not a big deal. But I'm not marketing, I'm not advertising to bring in business. There's a few people that have my number, and when they need something, they call me. If I'm available, we take care of them. If I'm not available, they completely understand. And we're gonna kind of keep it like that.
We have had a couple of customers that have just, been coming to us in Daytona for a long time that live in like North Atlanta. So a couple of them have come to the house, but they're like, it's almost like rolling customers to me because they've been there for so long. You get, you have relationship with people that you speak with on a regular basis, and some of, our customers are still from when we had our shop back in 2007.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Justin, we got one particular customer that, like I said, I closed the shop there in 2012. He still waits until we're in Daytona, and he comes up and we service his motorcycles when we're in Daytona to this day.
And his brother and his dad as well.
Yep. But the truth is, like I said, we service well over 1,000 motorcycles a year on the road in 90 days? And,
I have no idea.
I mean, we actually only work at rally 90 days a year. There's a lot of work in between rallies and getting to rallies.
Set up, breakdown.
As far as open business days at rallies, it's like 90 days a year. And we serviced, I don't even know, but it was well over 1,000 motorcycles this year, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I mean, just Daytona and Sturgis alone were like 700 or 800 just in those two because they were so busy. So yeah, so the thing is that, as we said earlier in the video, I've got a lot of my own projects that have been neglected. I've been working so hard on everybody else's stuff that I'm to a point now where we're making better money doing what we're doing than we did working on everybody's bike, in the shop format, that when I'm home from work now, I want to focus on the personal projects. So, and I don't mean just cars and motorcycles. I mean, I've got, 17, 18 motorcycles? All but 2 of them need a buttload of work. So I want to start slowly getting those in and getting them done. But even our house, there's a lot that needs to be done on our house that I've been putting off for a long time because either I didn't have time or I didn't have money. So as we're doing better in business, we're trying to be smart with stuff, and eventually we're going to start remodeling a lot of this house, which is why I did the windows, because I didn't want to remodel inside until I got all the outside squared away and secured and sealed up, and then we want to start doing stuff here. So if I kept working on customers' motorcycles, even when I was home, I literally would have no time to myself, and I just don't want that anymore. We're past that point of where I think I have to work every minute of the day in order to pay the bills. That I want that time for us to do what we want to do and get the projects done around here that we want to do. Another reason we took 2 cruises this year. We've never done that before in our lives.
No, ever. We budget, big time. We follow Dave Ramsey's principles, so, we just feel like...
Not exactly, but the theory of it, yeah.
The theory, yeah. And, it's been beneficial to help us stay grounded so that we don't go and make crazy mistakes financially, So, Flip says, okay, come get it, haha. And he says, I can help you do building stuff, neighbor.
You're more than welcome. Come over and help whenever. I don't think to call people. I'll be honest. I don't like bugging people. I don't think it's other people's responsibility to help me. And I know that I've got a bunch of people that are like, oh man, I'll come help you. But I never call people. I'll be honest. I just don't. Unless it's something I absolutely have to have help with and one of the kids aren't here.
Okay, Robert Schroeder says, starting to get interested in building adventure bikes from the stuff I got laying around. Maybe have some stuff ready by Spring Thunder Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flip says I'm retired. Other ones are there.
But yeah, moving all my stuff over to the other shop is not going to be a fun project. But it'll be worth it, I think, when it's all done. I'll have so much more room over there. Literally going from like 800 square feet to like 3,000 square feet. It might even be more than 3,000. I don't know. I've never actually measured it out. I'm just doing a rough estimate. But it's way bigger than what we've got. It's not as big as our shop in Orlando. Not even close. I wish we could have picked that building we had in Orlando up and just dropped it on a property out here. That would have been perfect.
Oh, the one we left?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big. What an undertaking that was, getting that ready. It's hard to believe that was over 12 years ago.
I know.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Definitely flies. How many have we still got in here?
32.
Still 32. All right, you guys are hanging out. It's been almost 2 hours. Well, 2 hours since the first try.
Yeah, since the first try.
All right, guys, what else can we talk about? Got this dead silence. It's awkward. Somebody asked a question.
Tom Bryan says, I've watched you from the start.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate it. It was definitely a slow start.
We've been meaning to do lives. It's just sometimes like things come up. Like I even told Adam, I said, why don't we do a live while we're, on the boat? And he goes, I don't know if it'll stay like on because
upload speeds are terrible on the boat.
They are, but also like the boats that we were on runs off of the what is it? The Earthlink, whatever it is, Elon Musk's.
I don't think it does. Somebody said it did, but
somebody said that it runs off of that. That's why you have the internet.
And the only reason I say I don't think it does because I watched another video the other day about a new ship coming out that was like the Norwegian ship, I think, and it was the first one ever to use Skylink or Skynet or
Skylink, Starlink.
Whatever.
God, somebody help us!
Yeah, I can't think of it at the moment, but they're saying it's the first one ever, so I don't think the Princess ship had that, even though that's what Cindy had said, but I think she might be mistaken on that.
Okay. Tom Bryan says, I'm ready for bed. I'm doing the nodding dog. Take care, folks.
All right, man. Have a good night. Get some
good
sleep.
Night. Thank you for watching.
We probably won't stay on too much longer. Looks like things are slowing down. People are running out of questions.
Life Never says, shot, shot, shot. Oh, wait, you're not the professional monkey.
No, we don't drink. But we got water. We can do some shots of water.
He'll do coffee shots.
I didn't brew any coffee. Guys, I haven't had coffee in 10 days.
Robert Schroeder says, I'm gainfully engaged in unretiring old bikes. That's something Adam is engaged in too. He'd really like to do that.
You know, we used to joke, Robert, back in the day.
Starlink, thanks, Flip.
About creating like an ASPCA for motorcycles, you know? Like if you abuse an animal, there's a group that comes in and takes the animal from you, and they nurse the animal back to health. So we always joked about, you know, these people that buy these bikes, leave them sitting in the garage, lonely, cold, and not being ridden, and, you know, not getting the attention that they need. That, you know, we would just come over, take the bikes from them, and start putting them to use, and take care of them, ride them, you know, exercise their tires a little bit. And, I mean, it's called thievery, but still, it's if we could find a way to make it legal.
Let's see. Grizzly Bear says, Life Naver 33, neither is the monkey. Mickey Moto, Merry Christmas, guys. Love watching your videos over here in the Glasshouse Mountains in Queensland, Australia.
Ooh, far away. Good
Far
day,
away.
mate.
Good day.
I want to go to Australia someday. I think it'd be really cool.
I have family over there.
I want to drive a road train truck.
A road train
Have you ever seen the trucks?
truck.
They get like the cab and then like, I don't know, 1 million trailers behind them.
Like a choo-choo.
Like they're bigger than Goliath. A lot bigger than Goliath.
Good Lord have
I want
mercy.
to drive one.
Life Never says, love the concept of rescuing neglected motorcycles.
Yeah, if I could just do it without going to jail, I'd be fine. I mean, you can't just like walk in the guy's garage, take his bike. That's the biggest hurdle we're getting over.
Nick says, I'm sure someone has come up with it, but an Airbnb for bikes would be cool.
You know, we thought about that over here. I mean, and Nick, you know, because you're not that far from us, that, you know, we live in an absolutely beautiful area. People love to come and ride. Someday, maybe, if we could buy a piece of property that could facilitate it, it'd be really cool to put a bunch of small cabins on it that had garage doors on the front where you could pull your bike right into the living area. You know, like, you know, have like a tile floor area or something like that for the bike on, but then you can still have your bed and your kitchen and everything. So when you come home from riding the tail of the dragon or Cherry Hollow Skyway, you just pull right in and shut it down for the night and cook your dinner and go to bed or whatever.
You know, it'd be awesome. I don't know if this is possible, but when you raise the garage up so that they come in, as the garage goes down, there can be like not glass sliding doors that kind of come open like this, that can like suck the air out too at the same time and that kind of thing, so there's no exhaust in there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, a little more complicated, but
I think it would be cool. Anyway, all right.
maybe that'll be my retirement strategy. That way I can just host the people and I can like do guided rides around the area daily.
Yeah. Why not? Something for you
Find
to
a
do.
way to make a living riding a motorcycle.
Sure. Sounds good. Barbara Brumbelow says, out of all your travels and cruises, where is your favorite place? And then Tom Bryan says, Adam, you and Schmidt both want to drive a road train.
Yeah. I asked Schmidt if he would drive Goliath, and he said, "Oh, I can't drive that." He was actually a little bit intimidated by it, and I know he could. It's a little bit different than driving an actual 18-wheeler, but I know he could do it. So someday that's what I'm gonna do. It's one of the things I wanted to do on the trucking channel was get other famous YouTubers to drive Goliath. So if I can meet up with Nick sometime this winter and take Goliath over there to meet him, put him behind the wheel, let him drive it. I was gonna ask Justin to do it, Just Trucking.
Yep.
And Schmidt, whatever. I even asked Alex to do it. Alex was gonna do it while we were at the truck show, and he chickened out. I just say chickened out. He decided not to, because he was tired. He'd already been up for a long time and had to go home.
Where is your favorite place that we've traveled?
All right, so they said cruises. The favorite cruise was definitely the Alaskan cruise, without a doubt.
On Princess. The
Well,
Royal
this
Princess.
The only time we've been to Alaska was on that one time.
No, I'm just saying Princess in general.
But as far as like favorite places, that's tough because we've seen some really, really beautiful places. And no matter where we go, I hate to say it, my favorite place is still right here at home. Even though Montana was absolutely
Missoula
beautiful.
was amazing.
Yeah, I liked Red Lodge a lot because Red Lodge is still this little
Yes,
town,
I like
way
Red
smaller
Lodge
than
too.
Missoula. It was a town very similar to the town we live in here in Murphy, but even a little bit more old school looking. But the view of just the mountains off in the distance that are massive. I mean, we've got beautiful mountain views here, but those mountains there just look different. It's a slightly different majesty to them, I guess. And I thought that was beautiful. I really did. I could see us having a second place out, like a summer place out in Montana someplace to go visit for a couple weeks a year, but definitely wouldn't want to move there full time.
Yeah, definitely not full time. Where'd I go? Oh, Flip says, we've been talking about the B&B tiny home area. Tom Bryan says, my wife is setting up, oops, it shifted on me, container hostels in Florianopolis, Brazil for bikers. That's cool.
That would definitely be cool.
Grizzly Bear, they make a whole house vent fan that mounts in the roof, crown of the house. Exhaust fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have one. Life Never 33. If I were president, I would attempt to have laws passed requiring all new houses and buildings have doors wide enough to bring in a motorcycle. What better place to work on a motorcycle than a home?
Yep.
Yep, while you're eating your dinner. Flip says, gotta get land in Young Harris and Brasstown area. Okay, where's the winning lottery ticket for that? You know how expensive it is over there. Nick says, but if you could convince the people that own neglected bikes to rent them out to visitors, you could make money and the bikes would be used.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Flip says, mouse under the bed.
It was cute.
It was a cute mouse. T-Dog says, been on the Dawn Princess, great cruise. We've done Royal and Sky, and just, I'm pretty spoiled. I don't think I'm ever going on a Carnival cruise again, which isn't saying much, I know, but.
Yeah, well, no, I do want to try other cruise lines just to see the differences, but we've done Carnival twice, we've done Princess twice. So I definitely try something different, but Princess has got a new ship coming out called the Sun Princess. In fact, its maiden voyage is going to be in February, but it's over in the Mediterranean.
Yep.
A couple of the cruise news channels I watch, the guy Tony from La Lita Loca and Don from Don's Family Travels or whatever, they're both going to be on the inaugural cruise on that. But that's an amazing ship. When we were on board Sky Princess, in the room, obviously you got a TV on the wall. It's like a closed circuit type television type thing. So they've got control of all the shows on there, and they had a whole series of like behind the scenes on the building of that new ship, and it was all hosted by Adam Savage from Mythbusters. So it was really cool because he's always a pretty interesting guy anyways, and I loved the show Mythbusters back in the days. But they got to go into the engine room and look at all the new technology they're putting into that ship and everything, and it's styled completely different than any other ship that's ever been built before. And it's going to be really interesting. So her and I already want to go on that. And that's one of the ones I was looking at in the Mediterranean that we could get 40% off of. But
then when would we have the time? Because we'd have to fly there. We'd be gone for 14 days, and then we'd have to fly back.
I know.
That's a month.
Yeah, but I think next winter, it's coming to South Florida. To do a Caribbean one.
Yeah.
So
that's the one that I sent you.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do it next winter. Like the winter of 20, I don't know. We'll
so
see.
I was telling our friend Cindy, I'm like, you may have friends that are drug addicts or alcoholics or, food addicts. I said, I think I'm becoming a cruise addict.
Okay. Guys, I'm going to tell you this too. The first cruise I went on was very difficult for me. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. But it was hard for me not having anything to do all day. There was nothing for me to work on. They wouldn't let me down in the engine room. My hands were so clean after the end of the cruise. I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm like, wow, that's the color of my fingers. It's hard for me not to be doing something. But once I kind of force myself to relax and enjoy it, it's actually very, very enjoyable.
It is. And 38 pounds of food every day.
And what I thought was really cool is what I do sometimes, and it's kind of funny, is I get up earlier when I'm on the cruise ship most times, not always. There's a couple of days that we slept in. But I like watching the sunrise over the ocean, so I've got no problem getting up and watching that. But when you're walking around this massive cruise ship at 6:30 in the morning, there's nobody else up. You might see one or two other people here or there, but all the crew was still out and about. There's people still making coffee. There's still people, getting things ready and moving chairs around, and they're out cleaning. And it was just kind of funny. Like, I wish I had this big velvet, bathrobe or something, kind of like Hugh Hefner. But it was like, I'm literally walking through this massive ship alone with all this crew. It's like, you feel like you're like the richest person in the world, and it's like your ship. And these are all your crew that are running the ship. It's kind of cool.
Okay, getting back. Let's see. Barbara Brumbelow. We have traveled out west. Also, we live in Middle Tennessee and love it here, but we want to travel out west again soon.
I love being out west. I love going to Sturgis.
June Thompson says, hello, Katie and Adam. Merry Christmas from Dean and June in Canada. Merry Christmas, guys.
Christmas to you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, the fact that I like being out there so much is the only reason we really do the Deadwood Three-Wheeler Rally. Because we don't make any money there. I hate to say it. I mean, it's been growing, but it's not justifiable to go out there and do by itself. But because we're already doing Sturgis, and it's like a couple weeks before Sturgis, it gets us out there. We do the rally. We got 2 weeks off before we start Sturgis to kind of do whatever we want to do out there. And that's really the only reason we do that show.
Yep. Okay. June Thompson. We're going on the Carnival Mardi Gras in November 2024. Just got off the Carnival Conquest this past November. Have you been on any other cruise lines besides Carnival? Question mark. Robert Schroeder lived in Moffett, Colorado in the 70s. The Sangre de Cristo mountain range has 5 peaks above 14,000 feet. Yep. Awesome mountains.
Yeah, it's beautiful over there. We used to do a show in Cripple Creek, which is just outside of brain fart, can't think of the city now, just south of Denver. Colorado Springs, yeah. We haven't done it since 2018, I don't think. But again, it wasn't a good show for us, but I love doing it because I love going to the area. We actually explored some of the gold mines up there. And if you've never been to Cripple Creek, Colorado, it literally is this old western town. It even looks more like an old western town than Deadwood, South Dakota does, because it's way smaller than Deadwood is. And but it's still a casino town. Every single building is a casino in the town. But it's way up there. The elevation of the town is 9,494 feet, if I'm not mistaken. And like, you get winded walking around up the hills because there's just such a lack of oxygen when you're almost 10,000 feet above sea level.
Yep.
But it was a really cool town. There's just these donkeys that roam the town. And they just walk down the street.
Carrot eaters.
Yep. Yeah, I went and picked up some carrots one day and just walking around, and I bumped into them, so I started feeding them carrots. And it was so funny because, like, you give one a carrot, then all of a sudden they all hear the carrot crunching, and like all the ears pick up, all the heads turn. And it was weird. I almost wish I could have had a camera on my chest, because just the look of all the donkeys coming straight in at me, that was like okay, and I just started feeding them all carrots. And it was just so funny.
Let's see.
We actually got stranded there once for like 10 days.
Yep, that's true.
The excursion broke down there once. Took a while to fix it.
T-Dog says Disney Cruise is awesome too.
Never done Disney. My concern with doing Disney is that I feel like there's going to be a lot of children there, and I love kids, don't get me wrong, but I'm not as fond as other people's kids as I am our own. And I just don't want to be around a bunch of screaming kids when I'm taking a vacation. So, and that's what we liked about Princess. There were still children aboard. But there wasn't like the wild party craziness going on. It was very, very plush and very relaxing. It wasn't the party ship like Carnival is.
Yep. Okay. Where am I at? Flip says, I got paid to cruise for 8 years. U.S.
Yeah, he was in the Navy.
Tin can sailor. I'm done. Danny Daropol says, Merry Christmas. See you all in Daytona. Merry Christmas, Danny. June Thompson said, yes, Royal.
Oh, yeah, Royal Caribbean, I hear, are pretty nice ships. I've never been on one yet.
Out of Royal and the Carnival, which one, June, did you like better? Okay, grizzly bear. Robert Schroeder, I used to drive trucks, used to load taters out of Alamosa, Monte Vista, and Del Norte in season. Robert Schroeder, we live right next to Cotton Creek, which was south of the mineral hot springs in that area.
Cool.
If I mispronounce this, I apologize. Is it Grimme Zimmerman? Says hi from New Zealand.
Hello from New Zealand.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I think it's just Graham.
Is it?
I think so. See the one that came out, Sauce and Sturgis?
Is it? I misspelled his name on the work order.
The one that we forgot to give the dampener to and had to mail it to him. It took forever to get there.
Oh man, I'm sorry,
I feel so
Graham.
bad.
My skin's dry from it being so dry here.
Yeah, yesterday the humidity was only 28%, so it was very dry. Still better than being in Florida.
Michael Rain says, "Hey Adam and Katie, sorry I'm late. I was baking cookies. What kind and when are they arriving at my residence, sir?"
How you doing, Michael? Good to hear from you again.
June Thompson says, "We find Royal is more of a formal cruise where Carnival is more relaxed and casual. Also cheaper with our money." Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, I watch a number of cruise news channels, and I kind of like
Money exchange.
The more upscale. There's been a lot of people giving Carnival a lot of flack lately because they've got such cheap prices that they're attracting. And I hate to say this, but I'm just repeating what I've heard, that they're attracting a lower class of people that are just rude and not as courteous on board the ship. So a lot of people are that want the nicer ships are kind of starting to stay away from Carnival. And I didn't really see that much when we were on there, but that was years ago. I mean, we did Carnival was back in 2017? 17 and 18, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a long time ago last time we took a cruise before this year. I mean, there's been all kinds of news of like fights breaking out with people and just people being really rude and nasty to one another on those ships. So I guess it's, you know, the complaint is people that normally wouldn't be able to afford a cruise are now doing that, and they just happen to be people that may not be as polite. That might be a little bit stereotypical, and I apologize if it is, but that's what I've heard. It's not my opinion, I'm just repeating what I've heard that other people are saying.
Michael says, LOL chocolate chip and dipped Oreos. Yes, we're going to have dipped Oreos on Christmas night because Alicia's bringing them.
I like her even more already.
And the corn casserole that your mother has to have. Okay.
I'm still waiting for Mike to let me ride the Ducati. He said I could. If you guys don't know, Mike and Alicia, they're friends of ours. They own the pack and ship store here in Murphy. And we met them because we were, ship love jugs out through them. And then we just kind of became friends. Mike had a Sportster, and he went on the ride with us for the Easter ride. Remember, he was on the Sportster. Well, he traded the Sportster in and bought another Ducati Panigale. It's the second one. He had one before. Yeah, he loves it way more than the Sportster. He told me I could ride it. I haven't ridden a Ducati in a long, long time, but I used to love riding Ducatis.
Okay, Barbara Brumbelow says, we've only been to Sturgis once. Hope to go this year. I just took 2 pecan pies out of the oven. I'm having Christmas at my house for kids and grandkids. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Barbara. We're doing that on Christmas Eve with the grands. And then Christmas morning, we're going to their house to do the rest of the day.
You're making my mouth water. I don't even like pecan pie, but now
I know. I'm like, Oh boy. Michael O'Day says, just saying hi. My wife is a baker. Who do you think is her official taste tester? I wonder.
My mom baked a lot when I was a kid, and I loved being the kid that got to lick all the beaters after she got done mixing stuff up.
Same here with my mom.
Katie still likes me to lick the beaters.
I do. Unless the grands are around.
Yeah, unless the grandkids are around, then we let them do it. But.
Yeah. Nothing like fresh whipped cream from Heavy Cream with some sugar and some vanilla.
Yep.
Yum,
None of that Cool Whip crap.
Ugh. No. I'm even getting finicky with the stuff in the can.
I still like the stuff in the can too.
stuff.
It's not as good as the.
It's
fresh
not
whip
as
stuff.
good as the fresh
Especially
whip
the
stuff.
that Mom made on Thanksgiving. That was spot on.
Mm-hmm. Fluffy and thick and sweet. Yeah. Robert's like, I got some more brownies when you bring my pan back. I ate all of Amanda's cake.
That's funny, Robert. If you guys don't remember, in Panama City, Robert brought us brownies. And they put an AA on it for Amsoil Adam, but I made a joke that it was for Amsoil Amanda.
Your pan is in Goliath. I'm like, Robert's not coming back. I'll just wait and see him in the spring.
Yeah, we washed it, shoved it up in the cabinet.
Yep. Life Never says, when I was a kid, I had no idea those pies were called pecan pie. In my small Arkansas town, I had always heard it called a caro nut pie.
Interesting.
Why did they call it a caro nut? Is that the proper name for pecans?
Okay, now I want pie.
Pie, cookies, chocolate, steak,
Yeah, like I said,
cheeseburgers, pizza, tacos.
we've been really trying to eat healthier, so we did this like 9-day liver cleanse diet, and today's actually day 10, so we still behaved today, but a lot of things we didn't have. Like I said, I haven't had coffee in 10 days, and that's a lot for me. I almost brewed a pot today, and I was like, no, just not.
Okay, Nick says, y'all have a good night and a Merry Christmas. We can make a plan after the holidays for the ride along and the oil bypass install.
Sounds good, Nick.
Good
Have
night,
a good
Nick.
night.
Merry Christmas.
Please tell Jessica and all of your children that Merry Christmas and everything else. So, yeah, hope they're all doing well. You haven't really talked much about the family in the last couple of videos.
Robert Schroeder says, it's a famous pan now, been all over the circuit.
Well, it made it out to Texas and back to here anyways. I don't know about all over, but
Was it spring or fall? No, it was
it
fall.
was spring. No, fall, yeah, it was fall.
Galveston, North Carolina. It's covering the states.
Well, it means they got Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama as well.
Yep.
That would need a little bit of Georgia.
Michael Rain says, catch some cars, Nick. Okay, so it's caro nut, which I know is from caro syrup, but it just seems a
So it's
jump
probably 'cause
from,
of the caro syrup plus the nut, so they call it caro nut. I don't know.
instead of pecan pie, I like that better. Okay. They're well. I'll tell them you said hello. T-Dog goes, what? No coffee? Oh boy.
10 days. Believe me, I'm going to have some tomorrow.
Hey. Everybody has their addictions.
It's just that diet we were doing. Coffee's like a no-no on the diet because it's like a liver cleanse and it's very specific on what you have to eat and kind of when you have to eat it.
It's called the Medical Medium Liver 369, and we've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
And we finished day 9 yesterday, which was all.
Yeah, I lost 12 pounds in 10 days, 9 days, whatever.
I lost 8, 6, something like that. I don't know. Almost 10. No, almost 10.
Cool. Because we got fat again after. I mean, we were doing well earlier in the year, and then, well, Sturgis happened, and cruise happened, and then another cruise happened, and we weren't doing so well anymore.
Nope. Downhill. Let's see what else.
Yeah, so if you guys remember, one of my goals for this year was to lose weight, and I wanted to get down to that 250-pound range, and I started at 326 at the beginning of the year. And I got down to 268 before Sturgis, or before Deadwood, actually. It was just before we went out west. So I was happy. I had lost like 60 pounds approximately. And then, well, I gained 30 of it back by the time I got back from the cruise. So now I'm down another 15. So
38 pounds of food every day.
still didn't hit my goal, but I'm still better off than when I started the year. But so when I do that goal video at the beginning of the next year, I don't know where we're gonna lie on that. Because it's still a success, but a failure.
It's still a goal.
It's a successful fail.
You could still put it as a goal. So Robert asked, so how is the transmission working from that performance place in the Fort Walton Beach? Okay.
The one that I put in the dually, it's freaking awesome. I mean, it shifts like a beast. I actually had to turn the shift firmness down on it. It was shifting so hard that it was almost banging when it shifted gears, and it was not good for daily driving. Like if you're putting on a really heavy load or something, probably be great. So I actually went into the computer and I adjusted my shift firmness a little bit to make it a little bit smoother. So if I'm really hard on the throttle, it's still a really firm shift. But if I'm easy on the throttle, it's not too bad now.
Rob Kentucky says, Merry Christmas, love your channel. Merry Christmas, Rob.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
All right, so I have a weird question for you guys. What are things you guys eat for Christmas dinner? What is kind of like the menu like?
We are trying a deep fried turkey this year for the very first time. Never done it before, but I've kind of always wanted to. And at Thanksgiving, we talked about what we're going to do for a Christmas dinner. And Zach, which, if you guys don't know, Zach is Michaela's, our daughter's husband, or son-in-law. He's like, I want to deep fry a turkey. And I was like, well, score, because I've always wanted to do that too. So he's doing it, I'm not doing it. So we're going to try that. Everyone says it's really, really good. And of course, typical sides, we're going to do like asparagus and mashed potatoes and
cream spinach,
applesauce,
fresh sourdough bread.
Yeah, sourdough bread, plus some dinner rolls as well. Mama S is bringing zucchini bread, and I love my mom's zucchini bread, so that's, even if I'm the only one that eats it, I'm fine with that. I think that's what she's bringing for dinner. I don't remember now. She's in there. She can put out whatever she's bringing again.
She's making enchilada pie for Christmas Eve dinner.
Yeah, for Christmas Eve. We're doing Mexican the night before.
And I'm making fresh queso.
Tasty.
Very good. With chorizo.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Making my mouth water already.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after eating nothing but salads and vegetables for the last week.
Michael Rain says prime rib. We did a standing rib roast once.
Yeah, and you even did beef Wellington once.
I did beef Wellington once too. That was fun. Grizzly Bear says, I started in 22 at 6:07. Mid-year changed my eating habits. Started in 23 at 5:30. Recently broke that plateau and I am around 5:15 now.
It's good. That's still progress. That's way more than I've lost. So proud of you for that.
Yeah, that's hard. I don't think people realize it's like really easy to put the weight on and then the weight goes, no, I'm staying.
And I have no problem admitting that, like, that's my only addiction is food. It's, it's easy for someone to hand me a beer and be like, no, I don't want it. But there's a little Debbie sitting on the counter.
Little Debbie is not safe.
Nope. Like Katie just went through yesterday and put candy in all the containers. It's so hard for me to not be over there eating.
He just looked at me and I was sniffing the chocolate. I'm like, that smells kind of good. He goes, I'm trying not to go after that. Robert Schroeder says, that's easy. Jumbo shrimp and crab legs. Oh, and sweet potato casserole. We love some sweet potato casserole.
Yep.
Especially with the candied pecans on top. You should have your mom bring one.
Mom made the one for Thanksgiving, right?
No, I think she...
Or was it a bought one? But it was really good.
It was good either way. Brooklyn ate it.
Yeah. I don't even like sweet potatoes that much, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm. Grizzly Bear. Unfortunately, everything I eat turns to shit. T-Dog says, deep fried turkey. And Zan Biker says, good evening, you all.
It's a Christian biker.
Huh?
Christian biker.
Christian Biker, sorry.
I know everybody calls him Zan Biker. They did it on Baggers and Brews last night, too. Good night, Christian Biker.
He says good evening.
Oh, good evening. Did he just, okay,
He just got on.
Oh, I thought he was saying goodbye. Sorry.
It's okay. Robert Schroeder, look, you need to put a little weight on before you try to crank that iron head.
Why? It's got electric start.
Life Nower, does anybody make divinity candy or buttermilk candy for the holidays anymore? My mother made that when I was growing up, and probably by the time I was 10 or 11, she stopped doing it. But yeah, she used to pipe it out of one of her Wilton cake decorating bags with whatever tip design she wanted.
My mom used to always do the Christmas chocolate chip cookies with the red and green sprinkles on top of it. The bourbon balls.
The Kahlua balls.
The Kahlua balls, yeah. She used to always make all kinds of Christmas stuff.
Yep, the peppermint bark before they started doing it. He said, no, I'm saying hello.
How you doing, sir?
Michael Rain, I cut my carbs to 100 grams or less a day and limited sugar. Dropped 40 pounds in 3 months. Blood pressure down from stage 2 to normal stage. That's the crazy part. Adam's stuff can be out of whack and his blood pressure will be just kind of like...
Yeah, I went to the doctor on Monday and she looked at it, did a little pump up thing, and she goes, well, you can't get any better than that. I don't remember what the number was. But...
it was 120 over 80. It was right on the money.
And they always freak out too. She's like, so what prescription medicines are you on? I'm like, none. She's like, what do you mean none? I'm like, none. She's like, you don't take anything. She said, every once in a while I get a headache, I'll take some ibuprofen or Tylenol. And they're just like dumbfounded because like nobody goes in there that's not on prescription medicines.
Yeah, it's not normal. Mm-hmm.
That's Robert, the problem, that it's not normal.
That's why I developed the app, so people have other options so they can heal. Okay, Robert Schroeder says, no namby-pamby electric start and add a magneto ignition.
Sure.
He says he'll get right on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do need a new ignition system for it. I know that's one of the problems. Basically, the bike runs perfect when you first start it up, but as it warms up, it starts running bad. So I think the ignition system is...
That's bizarre. Very bizarre. I don't know what buttermilk candy is.
Neither do I, actually, but I'm assuming it's candy made from buttermilk. I mean, that sounds kind of common sense, but I don't know if I've ever had it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before. But the Divinity, yes. It's like they're white, and they sometimes have the red like stripes down the side. Sometimes that you can actually buy it, but it's not. It's almost like a meringue, but it's dried.
Okay.
My mom used to make them. If I'm thinking of the same candy that he's talking about.
You know what I think? We do an apple pie for Christmas this year too. You usually do like a Dutch crumb apple pie.
I don't know what your mom's doing. She just said desserts.
I know she told me. I just don't remember because my brain sucks on memory stuff.
Dutch crumb apple pie. Yum.
I can remember specifications on engines that I built 20 years ago, but I can't remember what someone told me yesterday.
Because that isn't your passion. That's why. That's how that works. So has anybody tried doing a deep fried turkey? Any pros or cons?
Yeah, somebody in there put deep fried.
T-Dog did.
Yeah. I'm excited to try it. As long as nothing goes bad.
We had to turn the lights off because it kept messing with the camera. Let's see. Robert also said, I'll be up there next week with lots of parts. All iron heads need lots of parts.
It's fine with me. As long as you don't mind sleeping on a futon.
Let's see. Grizzly Bear. At Robert Schroeder, you're trying to electrocute all the hair on and between your legs, not to mention all the knee and hip replacements. Wow. Goodness. Okie dokie. Life Never 33. These Southern buttermilk pecan pralines are rich, creamy, melt in your mouth, delicious. Pecan. Okay. So they kind of like turtles? That's what they sound like. These Southern buttermilk pecan pralines are rich, creamy, and melt in your mouth, delicious. Pecans are the perfect complement to these sweet, blissful bites. Barbara Brumbelow. I cook breakfast for my kids tomorrow morning. We have a traditional Christmas dinner at my sister's house. I have 6 siblings and our gatherings are about 35 people. Good Lord, that's a lot of food.
It is. It's a lot of people.
Shoo! And I thought it was hard when we had 12 people here. God love you. You guys have a good time for Christmas. It's a lot of dishes, Barbara. Goodness.
It's actually going to be pretty small and cozy here at our house this year because it'll just be Zach, Michaela, and the 2 grandkids. Katie and I and Mama S for Christmas Eve and even Christmas morning.
Yep.
And then Mike and Alicia are coming over on Christmas night for dinner.
Yep.
But yeah, relatively small get together this time. It's kind of weird without Talon being here.
Yeah.
It's our first year with Talon living in Florida and not being at home for Christmas or Thanksgiving. So it's a little awkward, but
it's very strange. I'll just
a couple years ago, he was
we
here.
We missed him.
And then Alyssa was here. Then Alyssa's parents came. Well, her mom and her boyfriend or whatever. So, and Zach's parents came the same year, and it was just like it was a lot of people here.
There was a lot of people here. A lot. Let's see. We even had people in Goliath.
Yeah, that's right. Michelle and Gabe came up right after that. We had people in Goliath?
Yes.
In Goliath?
Michelle and Gabe were in Goliath.
No, that was after Christmas, because they didn't come up until the night after, day after Christmas or something, but yeah.
I don't remember. People get scattered all over the property.
Well, luckily we got all these empty RVs sitting around right now.
Yep.
We got 4 empty RVs on property. Well, Goliath isn't actually on property, but...
Yep. T-Dog said me. So he was the one who did the turkey.
Oh, okay.
He said best turkey.
Any tips to doing it right? It's our first time doing it. We know this got to be thawed completely, otherwise it like explodes when the oil melts the ice on it or whatever.
I don't know. Barbara Brombelow says we play Dirty Santa, we have a blast, and she says good night, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Barbara.
How dirty is Santa? I'm curious.
Filth and filth. Filth. Robert Schroeder says that was just trying to crank it, not shocking. We played Dirty Santa.
All right, we're almost 2 hours in, so
25 people are still on here.
okay.
They
You guys have
watching.
any more questions, man? Let's spark up the conversation. I'm kind of at a loss now. I don't know what else to say. Trying to get comfy.
We need snacks.
I don't want to sit here and eat in front of all these people. Ooh, that's something Nick and I can do. We can do an El Gordo Velox edition.
Whatever he does. Oh, how funny.
All right, guys, as quiet as awkward. Ask a question. I can't think of anything else to talk about at the moment. We talked about the Patreon. We talked about next year's schedule.
Life Never says I'm trying to do work in between questions.
Oh.
I hope you're just doing reporting. As his patient goes, who's Amsoil Adam? T-Dog says inject it night before and lots of seasonings. Are you talking like, do they need to put seasonings in the bird and then maybe put it underneath the skin and on top of the skin and inject it?
Or do like a rub on it before we fry it. Give it kind of like a coating. I'm sure Zach's watched a couple YouTube videos or something. He might have a plan already. I don't know.
Robert Schroeder says, yeah, because of an ornery iron head, I walk gently on my right foot. Life Never says, just some of the paperwork on claims. Flip says, I have a text message to send when you close. Jim Reynolds, I have watched your rally videos and always enjoy them. Have been thinking about using Amsoil products. Any recommendations?
Yeah, I always recommend Amsoil products. What specifically are you...
What application are you looking for?
Yeah. The one thing that's really cool about Amsoil, guys, is that they make targeted applications. So they don't just have like 1 or 2 formulas that they pour in different bottles. They make like specific for European cars, specific for diesel trucks, which I mean, I guess that's kind of common sense, but if you got a classic hot rod or muscle car, they make a Z-rod formula that's like perfect for that application. They've got the low sap stuff for some of the like the German cars, like the BMWs and Mercedes. Like they really target exactly what specific applications need, and they do so much testing so that.
3 holes, one of the ones you just said
Okay, so
specifically.
so you're definitely going to want to use the 2050 in your engine.
On an HT Ultra.
Yep, and then for the primary drive, we have a specific primary fluid, and for the transmission, we have a specific transmission fluid as well. That those 3 oils together will give you really good performance.
If you go to our website, extremebikes.com, so that's x-tremebikes at .com is the email, or .com is the website. You can press on Amsoil, the little icon, and it will take you right to our Amsoil website, so you can order it for your bike.
And at that point, you're actually buying everything from Amsoil directly. You're not buying it from us, but we do get credit for it. Amsoil knows that it came through our website, so they're going to take your money, they're going to ship it to you, they're going to handle everything, but we do get a commission off of it. In fact, you can type the website in the bar, and that way they can just copy and paste it.
Yep. T-Dog says yes. Jim Reynolds says thank you. Hang on.
And remember, when you switch to Amsoil on a Harley and you use that system and you use the Amsoil filter, you're now good for 10,000 miles or 1 year. It's not a 5,000 mile oil or a 3,000 mile oil. It's 10,000 miles or 1 year guaranteed. And those of you that watch the videos a lot and you see my bike idling, just know I only change that oil every 12 to 18 months. And it gets way more than the recommended runtime on it. In fact, I meant to send a sample out to test it this last time and I forgot to. So when we change it in the spring, I think we changed it in May this year because we're in Myrtle. So yeah, I'll probably wait till Myrtle to change it again. And then we'll pull a sample and send it out so we can get some test results on it.
You're welcome. Robert Schroeder asks, have you heard from Vagabond Adam in Thailand?
No, actually I have not. But I was thinking about him the other day and I thought about sending him a message and then I got sidetracked and never did.
Vagabond Adam? Not Vagabond. I'm thinking of somebody else, never mind. Who am I thinking of? Joey.
Yeah, he's talking about Joey, but...
Okay.
Yeah, because Joey's in Thailand right now.
Alrighty.
I believe he's still in Thailand anyways. I know he was going just shortly after October.
Why did I think he was
I
coming
haven't
back to the
actually watched any of his
Philippines?
videos for a while.
Okay, Flip says, I bought 2 extra oil filters, no O-rings.
I've got plenty of O-rings.
T-Dog says, I got to go, guys. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Good night, T-Dog. Merry
Good
Christmas
night,
to you as
T-Dog.
well.
Thank you. Life Never, Dirty Motorcycle Vagabond. Thank you! So I was thinking of it, I'm like, Adam threw me off.
No, our time with Joey was actually really cool. We kind of became friends. I didn't really know him all that well. I'd met him before, but I didn't know him very well. And of course, he lived with us for a week, basically.
Yeah.
So we got to know him pretty well.
Yep, coming across country. He's been putting out vids.
Yeah, I just haven't seen them. I haven't been watching a lot of YouTube lately. We got too much other stuff going on. Yeah, even some of my favorite YouTubers, I've only kept up with, I've really kept up with Schmidt and Trucking Together. But, and Nick just started releasing a bunch of videos too, just in the last week and a half or so. So I've been trying to keep up with his, because he's been dormant for quite a while.
Okay. Grizzly Bear, remember the primary tensioning shoe?
Yep.
Okay. We did the math, and your bike has the equivalent of 400,000 plus miles, mostly idling. That's what has sold me on the Amsoil system.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Because every 1,500 hours, which is what we calculated the very first year that we ran it, was about 1,500 hours. It was on that oil change, and
18 months or something.
1,500 hours is equivalent to 90,000 miles as far as runtime goes, and that was in year 1. And we're in year 7.
And the only reason why they wanted us to change the oil was because there was still some residual magnesium from the Harley oil.
Yep.
and it had gone from a 20,
It was approaching 60 weight. It wasn't
To
at
a
a 60
60.
weight yet, but it was getting close to it. So the viscosity was saying, not that 60 weight's a problem. In fact, the Amsoil technician, a guy named Len Groom, he's the guy that really does all that stuff over there for the power sports division. Awesome guy, really nice guy. He said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's still good to use. It just, we wanted to let you know that it is starting to thicken up a little bit.
Yep.
But that was with 90,000 miles worth of use on it, on an oil that's only supposed to have 10,000 miles worth of use on it.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, like, you want to overchange it, you're just kind of wasting your money if you're stuck on this 3,000 or 5,000 mile, because Harley said so. It's because Harley uses an inferior oil, so they know you got to change it more often.
Okay. Life for Nav. Adam, did you upgrade to a high flow oil pump?
Yes, I did. So back in 2019, my cam shoes failed. The followers on the cam chain tensioners, they failed. They didn't wear out. What was odd about it is they broke, just like the primary chain shoe did. And so even though the Amsoil was in there and it keeps everything lubricated, the engine is still running all the time. So it's subjected to the heat way more often than the average motorcycle is. So the plastics are drying out in it and becoming brittle. They're not wearing out. They're just becoming brittle from the heat. And so in 19, I had to replace all the cam chains, or the cams. So I went ahead and, because I didn't want that to happen again, I went ahead and did the gear drive system in it. And yes, we did the S&S upgraded oil pump system, because the early twin cams were known for oil pressure problems. And yeah, so we did the whole cam chest plate with the new cams and everything. And the bike runs much better now anyways, because they're not high lift cams by any means. We didn't try to make it a race bike. We didn't do any head work. It was just the cam chest in a tune, and it runs so much better than it ever did. But yeah, and that's why, like, even the hoses. I got the rubber hose that goes from the crankcase back to the oil tank. It's like every year and a half I've got to cut that off and replace it, because it's so brittle. It starts to break and crack. The lines going from my oil filter adapter over to the oil cooler, about every year and a half or 2 years I got to replace those lines, because they get brittle and they crack and they start leaking. And part of that is what ends up wearing out my front motor mount, I think, because that drips onto the motor mount, and of course oil soaking the motor mount is not good for it. That's why I've replaced the motor mount twice on that bike in 7 years. But yeah, and I'm starting to see a couple little leaks here and there from gasket surfaces again, and it's not because the oil is leaking because Amsoil leaks. It's because all of the hours on it, the gaskets are becoming very dry and brittle. So at some point I will have to pull that motor apart and reseal it anyways. And that'll be a really good time to start doing like wear scar measurements or whatever. I may actually take the engine to Amsoil when that time comes. I just don't want to do it right now, because like I want to see how long it'll go. I mean, I know at some point that engine is just going to crap the bed, but I just don't know when it's going to be.
Ew.
And I know what's going to happen. All the naysayers on YouTube, when they finally see that failure, they'll be like, "We told you can't do that with a bike." But yeah, after thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of abuse, it would finally fail. And someday I know it will. But
God, we're going into year 8 with this
I know.
bike.
But the truth is, guys, for what I've done with that bike, if it failed tomorrow, I couldn't fault it. I couldn't blame it. You know what I mean? It's been put through absolute hell. I mean, it's tortured when it's working, and you guys that watch my ride videos, you know that I'm not easy on it when I ride it. Not even close. I still ride it like it's a sport bike.
Yes, you do. Life Naver 33. Why would anyone continue to use a cam chain when you could do gear-driven cam system?
In my opinion, the only reason to stay with a cam chain is they're quieter. But I don't care about noise. It's a Harley. It's not supposed to be quiet. I don't mind the gear whine, and I know that it's far less maintenance and it's more accurate timing in most cases as well. So even my my race car, I say race car, the car used to street race, allegedly street race back in the days. All the timing in it, I took all the chains out and everything. There is Pete Jackson gear drive system. It's noisy and it's rattly, but it never fails.
Very good. The blue mule loves the love jugs. And yes, Adam rides like a wild man.
Yeah, Flip's ridden with me. But I will say this, Flip rode with me on a day that I was behaving very, very well because I had a bunch of inexperienced riders with me. Well, I'm going to say a bunch. We had two. Derek was new on his bike.
He already made a comment about Derek.
Yeah.
I just didn't say it.
And Zach was new on his bike. And I'd never ridden with Flip or Mike before at that point. So I was just cruising that day. We weren't riding hard. Just think the day it was just me and Mike riding. Because Mike's actually a retired racer. So he knows how to ride. And I think I impressed him a little bit.
Why?
Because he was keeping up with me without a problem. But he was keeping up with me when I was on a Harley.
Yeah. I don't know if it'd be the same on the Ducati.
Yeah. No, he'd smoke me on the Ducati without a problem. And if he was in front, he would have probably smoked me because he does have definitely a higher skill of riding than I do. But like he told me the other day, he goes, I was watching your body mechanics and the way you control the bike and the way you pitch. He goes, you know what the hell you're doing. I almost said the F you're doing, but that's what he said. I almost repeated what he said.
Well, it's kind of like when you went with Chip last year when the hurricane came through.
I think it surprised Chip too.
They went to the tail of the dragon, and Adam went to the top, turned off the bike, turned around, no Chip.
Yeah, I had already had my phone pulled out, was recording a clip for a couple minutes before Chip had pulled up. And Chip got off the bike, and the first thing he said was like, man, you can ride that thing.
He said, all I saw, Katie, was sparks. He goes, he was gone.
And I've almost thrown it on the ground a couple of times. I've gotten a little too aggressive a few times with it. The bike just, that's why I want to build a performance bagger. I want something I can ride more the way I like to ride it. This bike just doesn't do it.
Flip says, these curves up here freak me out. Have you been out west?
No, same type of curves. In fact, around here, a lot of them are even tighter. But
Let's see. Robert Schroeder, twin cams simply have one too many. Flip says, Mike is a wild man too. That guy can ride. Wasn't Derek, was Derek's bike.
Well, Derek's bike was fine. I mean, that bike will do 120. It was Zach's bike that, like, when we went up a hill and we were doing 60, he would lose speed and we'd have to slow down to let him catch up coming down the hill. And he was full throttle, tucked in as much as he could. That bike just doesn't have any power.
Wow.
But the little Ninja that Derek was riding, that thing will get up and go.
Let's see. Robert Schroeder. And Ironheads have way too many.
Yeah, well, they've got two as well, I think. Yeah, it's still twin cam. It's not a twin cam, but it has two cams.
He says, okay. Oh, Flip says, okay, Zach's bike.
Yeah, you were thinking of Zach. Derek sold the Ninja, by the way. He sold it once he got to Florida, and I guess he bought a 636 stunt bike. Dented in tank, foot grab, everything. So I guess he wants to be a stunter now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
And Talon's been riding the Gixxer. He's really liking it a lot. Still hasn't got the KTM fixed.
You need to get your KTM running again.
Yeah, I need to rebuild the forks on it.
Does Olin's have one?
I don't know. I'm sure they got something that'll fit, but don't know if that's in the budget anytime soon. It's expensive.
Yes, they are, but it would be nice though.
But yeah, I'd love to get my KTM running too, just because if I ride with Talon with his KTM, it would be fun.
Yep. So many bikes, so many projects.
Like I said, too many projects, not the budget to do it.
So many vehicles, so many projects.
So one of you guys go win the lottery and then sponsor the channel. You know? We'll build all kinds of cool stuff.
Yes, all
Sorry.
sorts of cool things.
Forgot we were alive.
Robert Schroeder, try riding Wolf Creek Pass in southwest Colorado on ice on the road. Not on a bike, I'm not doing that nonsense.
Not nice. I remember one time I was on the BMW and I was going over through the Highlands, through Cashiers, over to Hendersonville to go visit my mom. And coming through a corner there and hit a patch of ice. I didn't put it down, but it slid sideways on me far enough that I think the only thing that held the bike up was because I puckered so much. I think I sucked part of the bike up in me. And, and I mean, it slid about 3 feet and then it caught traction and grabbed again. And I was like, whew. Yeah.
I pray a lot.
I wasn't even going fast because I knew that it was not good conditions, but yeah, it was up there when you get up in the high mountains, everything was all covered with snow and stuff. It was beautiful, but
yeah,
I was trying to be very, very careful. That was one of the things that was really weird for me moving from Florida up to here, is that I would take some of these rides in the winter, and down where we are, may not be that bad, but we get going up over some of the mountain roads, you get up to some elevation, and I come across these cliffs that are nothing but icicles hanging off of the cliff. I got like pictures of my bike with all these icicles in the background, because it would get colder and freezing temperatures at the higher elevations. It was pretty cool.
I bet.
Just, stuff you don't experience growing up in Florida.
Nope. Because it's too flat and straight. Too flat and straight. No elevation, no curves.
How many we still got in here?
22.
Wow. Usually,
So,
2 hours and people start dropping off pretty good.
What's everybody's plans though for Christmas? Or how many people are traveling? Or are you guys already at your destinations for the weekend?
I know we asked that at the beginning, but I don't know if it's the same people in now.
Robert Schroeder says, another miraculous save on the Road King. Good tires helped. But that was your BMW.
Yeah, I was on the BMW.
He was on the BMW.
But of course, I run good tires on the BMW as well, so.
BMW?
BMW.
You're getting tired too. We've had a long day.
Yeah, I run the Pilot Road series. I think they got Road 3s on there now. I haven't ridden the bike in years, but still got problems with it. So again, another project that I just don't have time to work on.
Projects.
But yeah, I've got 150 something thousand miles on that bike. Had a lot of fun with it for a long time.
You had to ride it back and forth from North Carolina to Florida when we first moved up here.
Yeah, that was my commuter every weekend. I rode from Florida to here and then back to Florida again. Every weekend. I put 11,000 miles on the bike the first week I had it. Week and a half, something like that.
Life Never says, once my
first month.
Once my parent passed and I got out of the Navy, I don't travel farther than across town for holidays.
We don't much anymore either, because most of our family is right here. I mean, our daughter lives on property with us in her own house, and my mom's over in Hendersonville. But because there's so many of us here, especially when Talon was here and stuff, that Mama S has always just started coming over here lately. So we used to always do Christmas at Mom's house back in the days. But now there's just so many of us here, it's easier for her to come here than all of us go over there.
Yep. A lot easier.
She's another room for all of us now. We've got room for her.
Yep. I can't imagine the grandkids over there right now. That would not be good.
No. Definitely not. Somebody just texted me. Oh, it's Flip. More messages.
He was gonna send a text message. He was gonna send a text message.
Yeah, he did. All right, you want to call it?
I don't know.
It's
We're down to
11:30.
20. I think we're gonna call it,
Yeah,
guys.
if nobody else has any more questions, I think we're going to call it quits, and maybe we'll try to do another live on closer to New Year's Eve or something, maybe. I really want to do the lives more often. I enjoy this. It's just sometimes I don't know what to talk about, so if you guys have ideas of topics, send them to me in the comments, and we'll come up with things.
Or if you guys are wanting to know more about specific products that Amsoil has that Adam can go over and explain, let us know. You can even put it in the comments. Just say, hey, can you talk more about this, that, or the other?
Yeah, I know that for marketing purposes, I probably should focus more on stuff like that with the Amsoil products, and I'm just terrible with that. I mean, I didn't start the channel to be a marketing platform, and I know that it has helped our business. It has been a great marketing platform, even though that was never my intention. So I just never think about stuff like that, because for me, when I'm recording, it's just about what I'm doing that day. It's not about trying to sell a product. So sometimes I forget. And that's why I did the oil change video the other day on Mike's truck. I was like, you know what? I should probably tell people exactly what we're using and why we're using it.
Yep.
So I did. And I know I need to do that more often, but I'm just terrible about it. You guys wouldn't believe how many times I close out a video
Good night, Robert.
and then completely forget to talk about things I had every intention to talk about in the video. And I'll be editing it and I'll upload the video and then it's already uploaded, which takes hours to get it edited and uploaded. And then I'm like, you know what? I totally forgot to talk about this and I meant to talk about it in the video. And at that point I can't. So I'm like, oh, I'll do it in tomorrow's video. And then I forget again.
Jim Reynolds is staying close to home.
Where's home for you, Jim? I forget. Or maybe I never knew. Awkward silence.
It's okay.
Not really.
Well, because there's a conversation going on with a couple of Navy people that are on here, so I'm not interrupting.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, la la la. I'm just blip, 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 blip. It's coming up. Look at all the commonalities you guys have in here. Flip, Life Naver, Grizzly Bear.
We've got a lot of people that are ex-military, truckers, and bikers. So they all get along
They
for the
do.
most part. I mean, Flip is ex-military, ex-trucker, and a biker.
He's the trifecta.
Trifecta, yeah.
Truckfecta.
I guess so.
Grizzly Bear goes, we're all nuts. We all love you guys. Flip goes, love you, Katie.
We appreciate it because sometimes we think we're so boring, but we really enjoy having these conversations and stuff. But sometimes I don't know what to talk about, and I feel bad that I can't keep it more exciting.
Robert Schroeder says, so when can we expect a rally calendar with Softail centerfold? Soon? While we're young?
Soft-tail centerfolds?
Mm-hmm.
We did talk about a calendar, and if what I want to do with Patreon and I get these models that want to model with the bikes, we just may be able to put the calendar together as well. I haven't looked into what it's going to cost to make a calendar or whatever, but I have no
You'd have
clue.
to talk to Nick, the guy who did all my,
Probably, yeah.
lip balms and stuff.
But yeah, so if I can get 12 models and 12 bikes, we'll make a calendar. I mean, I guess we could do a month without a model and just a bike, or a month with no bike and just a model. But
Well, here's
I'd
the
rather have a
thing.
bike and a model in each one.
Here's the thing you guys can
I
do.
almost said something really bad.
If you guys see somebody out there that's one of our regulars that Adam has on video, figure out their name and say, Adam, she would be perfect for a calendar, blah, blah, blah. Either for summer, spring, fall, whatever. But if you guys see them and you know that, like Katie, Justin's Katie, she's at almost every single rally with us.
Yeah, she's absolutely beautiful and she's got such an awesome
So,
personality.
and there's a lot of bartenders that actually travel all over the circuit. So if they're ones that, Adam's filming, say, hey, get her credentials. We'd love to see her modeling on a bike. And then what we could do is see how we can make that happen.
Definitely.
But that way he can kind of go back, or if you guys, email him and say, hey, it was in Daytona, day 2, Saturday, around 2:30 in the afternoon, you were talking to this girl who was in blah, 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 blah outfit.
All right, guys, I think we're going to end it, though. It's
Hang on, wait 1
almost
second.
it's almost midnight, and conversation is dying down.
Hang on. Life Never. Adam, don't you know we support you because 1, we like you guys, and 2, we know we're going to need help with a motorcycle problem in the future.
No, we appreciate it. Like I said, when we started this channel, we had no idea what kind of effect it was going to have or how it was going to go.
Good night, John. Merry Christmas to you and your wife.
And I have to say that because of the way it's gone, because of the people we've met, which have been great people, and I know that we haven't met all of you, but like Life Never, we've met him personally multiple times, and Ratfink Ron and Emery Ron. I mean, there's so many of you I can't even remember all of your names, but we've met so many great people that it almost
Good night,
feeds
Joanne.
into the want to continue to do it. So even like when I don't know what I should record, I'm like, well, I should just record something because somebody will like it, even if it's something I normally don't think I should want to record. So we definitely appreciate the support, and we're really hoping that we can continue to bring you the good content that you'd like to see. And I'm still going to try to keep as much YouTube content going that's free to you guys as possible, but I'm hoping that many of you will still support the Patreon, because I'm hoping that will actually fund the growth of the channel for both sides, even for the free side and for the pay side, because we'll be able to make more content. I've got a couple models lined up that are willing to do it for free, or they're actually doing it like on a trade, so to speak. But at some point, there may be a point where we get a model that wants to get paid to do the modeling. So having a revenue source there to do stuff like that will definitely make it easier. Plus, it helps put it into some of the projects that I want to start doing in the future. Like I said, we've got like 30-something projects that I'd love to get started on and do. It's just we got to get the funding going for it, and we're just not there yet. We've been working really, really hard to up our income so that we can afford to do some of this other stuff. And in the process, we've been paying off a bunch of other things too, so we don't have a bunch of bills along the way. So we're getting really close to a point where we can start rolling a little bit more money into making projects so that we can make more content, so that we can afford to make more projects, so we can afford to make more content, and hopefully keep that
Ball rolling.
not so vicious circle going. You know what I mean?
Merry Christmas, Flip. Jim Reynolds says, I've been looking at your website. Is there a kit or package with everything I need for a 3-hole?
So to answer your question, no, there is not a 3-hole kit. There's an engine kit for either a twin cam or a Milwaukee 8 engine that will come with either the 4 quarts or the 5 quarts of oil, your filter. You get a choice of chrome or black, and it'll come with the O-ring for the drain plug. But it's just for the engine. So then you would need to add on your primary fluid and your transmission fluid, because not everybody wants the same thing there. So some people just put 2050 in the primary. So Amsoil doesn't know exactly what you want, so they give you the option to choose there. Some people even use the severe gear in the transmission. So at that point, pick the engine kit and then the other 2 quarts that you want added to it, and then you basically have the same thing. It's just not in one kit. You get to add a la carte those last 2 items.
He's in West Virginia.
Okay. Whereabouts? We did that vacation up in West Virginia where Gary and I met halfway just to go ride in that one day. In Oak Hill, I want to say it was, or Oak something.
Was it Oak?
It was Oak something. Oak Hill or Oakmont. It was Oak something. I don't remember. And we even toured the coal mine.
Mm-hmm. Remember that?
That was cool.
I went on a train too, I think.
Yeah,
right?
the coal mine. It was like a train thingy down at the coal mine thing. But I was really surprised how many people liked that video. I was like, had nothing to do with motorcycles, had nothing to do with trucks, had nothing to do with anything else we were doing, but it was, people loved it. So. I need to get back to filming dam videos too. We got so many more dams here I haven't covered, but I broke the drone while we're in Galveston. I didn't tell everybody that yet, so here's the announcement. The only person I told was Emery. It's like, sorry man, I broke the drone you gave me. But hopefully I'll be able to fix it or send it out to be fixed. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
I thought you were going to try to see if you could get a warranty on
I
it.
think I bought a warranty with it. Like, he gave me the drone, but when I went to register it, I'm pretty sure I paid for like a protection plan of some sort. But I'm gonna have to double check on that.
Gotcha.
And I don't know what the length it was. It might have only been a 1 year. Could have been a 2 year. If it's 2 year, we're still good, because it hasn't been 2 years yet.
That would be awesome.
But it's definitely been more than 1 year. So.
Okay. He said, good night. I'm from West Virginia. Good night, Jim.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna end it. And have a good night.
Take care. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, keep those engines running.
Oh, until the next time we see you, keep those engines running.